Chapter 500. Shi Shang had seen Gu Hao in the newspaper before. Compared to the newspaper, the real Gu Hao looked more handsome and charismatic. They met at a cafe not far from Lon Qing's apartment. There were not many people because of the Chinese New Year. "I'm sorry to disturb Miss Lon at this time." Gu Hao's attitude was very humble. Shi Shang raised his eyebrows. He thought Gu Hao was here to pick a fight. "Mr. Gu, what's the matter?" Gu Hao looked at the girl opposite him. She was a very pretty girl. She was very natural when facing him. There was no fawning or fear. "Is Shao Qi with you?" He wanted to see Gu Qi at first, but he found no one there. The Gu family naturally received the news that Gu Qi and Shi Shang were together, but they dared not intervene. Moreover, Gu Qi had clearly called them and told them not to check on Lan Sheng. They only knew that Lan Sheng was the eldest daughter of Yu Teng Group, the best actress in the entertainment industry. She was a good person, but there was a lot of negative news recently. "Yes." Shi Sheng nodded. Gu Hao took a deep breath. "Miss Lan, you and Shao Qi have been together for a while. I'll be frank. Please go ahead. Before that, I would like to ask Miss Lan, what's your purpose of being together with Shao Qi?" Shi Shang held the coffee and took a sip. When he put down the cup, he said, "To be together for the rest of our lives." Gu Hao nodded. "If that's the case, Miss Lan, please listen to me. I hope you don't mind my nagging." Gu Hao's words were full of concern for Gu Qi. He was talking to Shi Shang from the perspective of a brother, not the CEO of Huan Yu Group. "Miss Lan, I hope you can think about what I said just now. If you can still persist, the Gu family will not stop you." Gu Hao stood up and bowed slightly. "One last thing, Miss Lan. Tomorrow, if possible, I hope Miss Lan can bring Shao Qi home, and introduce you to the Gu family." Gu Hao's words had already confirmed Shi Shang's identity. "I'll try my best." Gu Qi listened to her, but she had to put in a lot of effort to coax him. "Miss Lan, please say hello to Mr. Lan for me. I will visit in person another day." Gu Hao walked out of the cafe and heaved a sigh of relief. His assistant came over with an umbrella. "President Gu. She's a good girl." Gu Hao whispered, "Shao Qi likes her. Even if she's not good, we have to accept it. Let's go back." The assistant followed Gu Hao and asked worriedly, "Will young master come back?" "I think so. That girl could make Gu Qi come here. Perhaps it wouldn't be that difficult to make him go home." When Shi Shang went back, Gu Qi and Lan Qing were drinking. Lan Qing's alcohol tolerance was average, but Gu Qi's alcohol tolerance was not bad. He was completely fine even after Lan Qing was drunk. There were still 2 hours before dawn. "Why don't you want to go home?" Shi Shang nestled in Gu Qi's arms and watched the New Year's gala on TV. Gu Hao was a nice person and treated Gu Qi well. She was in a good mood, so it didn't matter if she helped them. However, this was under the premise that Gu Qi was willing to do so. She wouldn't force him to do anything. Gu Qi lowered his head and played with Shi Shang's fingers. Laughter flowed out from the TV. Until the end of a program, Gu Qi said slowly, "I'm not used to seeing their happy scene." He couldn't understand their feelings, so he couldn't get used to it every time. "Let me accompany you home." Gu Qi tilted his head slightly. Shi Shang tilted his head and looked up at him. Shi Shang hugged his neck and kissed him for a moment. "Let's go back and take a look. If you don't like it, we'll leave immediately." Gu Qi breathed slowly. The New Year's gala program changed one after another. "Wherever you are, it's good to go." Shi Shang was speechless. What should I do if my partner always flirts with me? Gu family's old house. At this time, the house was brightly lit. There were children setting off fireworks in the open space. The adults were chatting in the villa, but the atmosphere wasn't very festive. There were only 10 minutes before dawn. 8 minutes. 5 minutes. 3 minutes. 1 minute. The countdown to the New Year's gala started. "Old Mr. Young Master is back." The butler hurriedly ran in from outside, bringing in a cold air. However, no one present felt cold. Who are you talking about? Old Master Gu stood up excitedly. Shao Qi is back. Yes, young master is back. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Old Master Gu rushed outside. Grandpa, slow down. Gu Hao quickly held Old Master Gu. A group of people surrounded Old Master Gu and walked out of the villa. The TV behind them was still counting down. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Boom. Huge fireworks bloomed in the sky above the villa. The children's laughter spread far and wide, welcoming the people who slowly walked in from outside the villa. Shi Shang knew that the Gu family was huge, but she was still surprised to see so many people at first glance. Gu Qi stood quietly beside her, his gaze fell on her, but he didn't look at the Gu family. It's the girl from the Lan family. Gu Hao saw Old Master Gu looking at Shi Shang curiously and reminded, Shao Qi seems to like her a lot. It's good that Shao Qi likes her. Let them in. Old Master Gu's voice was almost choked. Gu Hao had the people beside him support Old Master Gu as he jogged over to Shi Shang and the rest. Shao Qi, welcome home. Gu Hao reached out and wanted to hug Gu Qi, but Gu Qi avoided him. He looked at Gu Hao indifferently. Even though there were countless brilliant fireworks in his eyes, they seemed to be grayish-white. Shi Shang patted his hand. Gu Qi glanced at Shi Shang, then looked at the disappointed Gu Hao. He stepped forward slowly and hugged Gu Hao gently. It was very short, almost as soon as he touched him, he let go. Gu Hao looked at Gu Qi with a face full of surprise. Then he was surprised. It's cold outside, Shao Qi, come in quickly. Miss Lan, please come in. Everyone saw Gu Qi and Gu Hao hugging just now. Almost everyone had the same expression as Gu Hao. Surprise, surprise, relief. It was too cold outside. The group of people did not talk outside and entered the villa noisily. The butler made hot tea for Shi Shang and Gu Qi. Miss Lan, let me introduce you. Gu Hao stood out when everyone was curious about Shi Shang. This is my grandpa. Hello, Grandpa Gu. Shi Shang took out a box from the bag she was carrying and greeted him obediently. Happy New Year, Grandpa Gu. Good, good, good. Old Master Gu smiled and took over Shi Shang's box. You're so considerate. Gu Hao, go and get the purple brocade bracelet from my study room. A few women's faces changed slightly. While Old Master Gu was talking to Shi Shang, they quietly left their seats. When they came back, they had more things in their hands. Shi Shang was glad that she had a lot of things in her space. Otherwise, she would not be able to deliver everything to so many people. Asterisk hashtag please vote. Hashtag. Chapter 501. This is my father. Gu Shang's father looked like a strict person, but his gaze towards Gu Qi was gentle. Hello, Uncle Gu. Gu Shang's father smiled and gave Shi Shang a big red packet. Gu Hao knew Gu Shang's father's character, so he led Shi Shang to the next room. This is my second sister-in-law. Hello, second sister-in-law. The boxes given by Shi Shang were made of high-quality sandalwood, emitting a faint fragrance. It was obvious that they were aged. It was obvious that they put in a lot of effort. Gu Hao was also a little confused. How did she prepare so many gifts in such a short time? I didn't know you were coming, so it was a little rushed. Don't mind it, I'll make it up to you another day. Gu's second sister-in-law was a little embarrassed. After Gu Hao introduced everyone, Shi Shang held a bunch of gifts and red packets in his hands. The most valuable one was the bracelet given by Old Master Gu. It was said that it belonged to Old Master Gu's first wife, which was equivalent to the symbol of being the mistress of the family. Gu Qi didn't receive any red packets. Under Shi Shang's instructions, Gu Qi wished Old Master Gu and Gu Shang a Happy New Year. Old Master Gu almost cried tears of joy, while Gu Shang's father held back a little. Old Master Gu ordered the servants to prepare a reunion dinner. They had already eaten, but in order to accompany Gu Qi, everyone sat at the table obediently and ate a little symbolically. Little girl, your brother is a powerful person. Old Master Gu looked at Shi Shang with a smile. When the Lan family had such a big incident, he single-handedly propped it up. In just a few years, he grew to where he is today. He's not bad compared to these few people in their family. He's a very good brother. Shi Shang replied with a smile. Both of them chatted harmoniously. Gu Qi sat beside her and listened to her quietly, unlike the past when he was anxious on such occasions. Looks like Xiao Qi really likes this little girl. Gu's second sister-in-law and eldest sister-in-law sat together and whispered. Gu's eldest sister-in-law glanced at Shi Shang. I don't know about her character. We gave her so many gifts just now. What did she give us? I peeked just now. It's a bracelet. It doesn't matter what the gift is. What matters is that Pool likes it. I'm just worried that Xiao Qi will be tricked by her. What if she's interested in our family? Second sister-in-law Gu kicked eldest sister-in-law Gu on the table. Shi Shang happened to look in their direction. Mrs. Gu smiled awkwardly, lowered her head, and remained silent. It was a little late, and Old Master Gu's body couldn't take it. Old Master Gu looked at Gu Qi expectantly. Xiao Qi and Xiao Shen can stay here. Xiao Qi's room has always been reserved. Gu Qi frowned. He pulled Shi Shang and shook his head slightly. Shi Shang had no choice but to say to Old Master Gu, Grandfather Gu, I'll bring him back another day. Old Master Gu was very happy that Gu Qi could come back today. Although he was a little disappointed that he couldn't stay overnight, it was better than the previous years. Gu Hao sent Shi Shang and Gu Qi back. On the way back, Gu Hao held back his urge to speak. He only called out to Shi Shang when they got off the car. Xiao Shen, thank you for today. Grandpa is very happy. Gu Hao thanked him sincerely. Mr. Gu, you're welcome. Xiao Shen, you can call me Big Brother if you don't mind. I'll leave Xiao Qi in your care. Call me if you need anything. Shi Shang kept silent for a few seconds. Okay, good night, Big Brother. Gu Hao watched the two of them enter the elevator before driving away. When he returned to the villa, he realized that everyone was still there. What's wrong? Grandpa, why aren't you asleep yet? It's so late. How, look at these things. Second sister-in-law Gu pointed at the box on the table. Those were all taken out by Shi Shang just now. Gu Hao was puzzled. What's wrong with these things? There were all kinds of things in the box. Some were jade, some were exquisitely crafted jewelry. Is there anything wrong? Although the items were a little monotonous, it wasn't easy to prepare so many things in such a short time. Old Master Gu said in a deep voice, the items here are worth at least 1 billion. Grandpa. Are you kidding? I still have a good eye. Old Master Gu glared at Gu Hao. This was his conservative estimate because he didn't recognize a few of the items and didn't know the price at all. Just the ornament made of imperial jade that she gave to Father Gu was worth at least 300 million. Not to mention the jewelry she gave to the other ladies. Most of them were top-grade jade. The quality and workmanship were many times better than those outside. She gave us 1 billion just like that? Gu Hao still couldn't believe it. Even the Gu family couldn't give away 1 billion just like that. Eldest sister-in-law Gu had suspected that she was doing it for the Gu family's money. But now that these things were in front of her, she didn't dare to have such thoughts anymore. The things we gave her are nothing compared to this. Second sister-in-law Gu shook her head. Where did this little girl get so many good things? Prepare a big gift. We'll visit the Lan family tomorrow. Guai made the final decision. Everyone was surprised. It had been many years since they visited the Lan family to give New Year's greetings. And it was the first day of the Lunar New Year. Everyone is going, Old Master Gu added. Shi Shang put the things away after returning home. She liked the bracelet very much. She took it out and tried it on. The size was perfect. But she took it off after trying it on. Gu Qi hugged her from behind and put the bracelet back on. Wear it, don't take it off. Shi Shang looked at him in confusion. It looks good, Gu Qi said slowly. Shi Shang took out her phone and took a photo of both of their hands clasped together. Then she took another photo of both of them in the same position. Can I post it? Shang logged into Weibo and asked Gu Qi it's Chinese New Year. She wants to show off her affection. As long as you like it. Shang quickly uploaded the photo. Lan Shang, the first wave of PDA in the Chinese New Year. Picture. It was past 4 in the morning, but there were many people online. Shang's Weibo post had more than 1,000 comments. Happy Chinese New Year. Oh my god, what did my idol post? I'm blind, I can't see it. I reject the PDA. PS. My idol's idol is so handsome. Licking the screen. I have any door. I reject the PDA. I'm being forced to get married at home. My idol, you're still abusing the PDA. Are you going to celebrate the Chinese New Year? Dark Elf. My idol actually has a girlfriend. Oh, is this the first happy event of the year? My idol and my idol are so compatible. Heart sign. Blessings. Ghost delivery. Aw, how did my idol find a girlfriend? Heartbroken on the first day of Chinese New Year. General, your aunt is missing. My idol, are you going to abandon us? Sob. You want to abandon us on Chinese New Year? I don't want to. I want to see my idol's idol. He's so handsome. Lan Shang is my idol. I'm scared. I must be sleepy. Let me sleep again. Fighting in the front line. Sure enough, it's the first PDA of the new year. I'm not going to eat it. P.S. My idol is going to dominate the first headlines of Chinese New Year. Asterisk hashtag looking for blueberry-flavored tickets today hashtag. Chapter 502. When Lan Qing woke up the next day, he was shocked by a large group of people from the Gu family. His mind was filled with the thought that these monsters who loved Gu Qi were finally going to take action. He quickly used his somewhat slow brain to analyze a few useful methods to prepare to deal with this group of monsters. However, the reality was completely different from what he imagined. Led by Old Master Gu, they greeted Lan Qing cordially one by one. Lan Qing was dumbfounded the whole time. Are they here to cause trouble? Why didn't they say so earlier? I was scared to death. No, it's only been one night. What happened that I don't know about? Why do these people act like they're meeting their in-laws? Old Master Gu left a lot of things, but compared to what Shang gave them yesterday, it was definitely a drop in the ocean. Until these people left, Lan Qing then took out his phone. He wanted to call Shang, but he happened to see messages popping up one after another on Weibo. Since his baby sister was exposed, there were people mentioning him from time to time. However, it only happened when something big happened. What did his baby sister do this time? Lan Qing quickly clicked on it and saw the two photos first. Lan Qing was speechless. He was wondering why those monsters were here. It turns out that his baby sister is really causing trouble. This year's entertainment event was the first big event. Prince Charming has a girlfriend. This was a very sad thing for the fans. The next day was the premiere of Proud Son. The box office on the first day exceeded 90 million. The crew was overjoyed by the good start and increased the promotion efforts. The box office came out along with the movie reviews. Shang was a negative character in the movie, but he received a lot of good reviews in the end. It was impossible to get unanimous praise. However, in general, this character was liked by everyone. Because of this role, Shang was able to secure her position as the Prince Charming, gaining countless fans. As for Wen Qiao, her scenes with Shang were basically suppressed. Naturally, some people noticed this. Some people who disliked Shang accused Shang of bullying the newcomer. Chen Yuan specifically called Shang and asked him not to respond. The company will handle it. Shang was very obedient. She did not respond, but she made Gu Qi show off their affection. It felt a bit like punching cotton. The topic was successfully diverted by their affection. Proud Son's box office exceeded 600 million in 10 days. This was a pretty good result. After that, Dimension Dream Guy was a low-budget film and the box office sales were not as high. However, with Shang's fame, it was considered quite good among low-budget films. Although Wen Chao did not become famous overnight like in the storyline, she was not a nobody and had her own fan club. But compared to Shi Shang's army of fans, they were nothing. The filming of the TV series that had been released before the Lunar New Year had officially started. As the biggest investor, Shi Shang naturally received the best treatment. Wen Chao didn't know why she was delayed and didn't make it in time for the opening ceremony, which caused a lot of dissatisfaction. This was the pose that a female lead should have. The female lead was the public enemy of the human race. Most people had a grudge against the female lead, but there were bound to be dragons and phoenixes that were the female lead's guardian angels. For example, the male lead of this drama, Zhao Yun. Shi Shang didn't know how the two of them got along, but by the time she found out, they were already friends. If someone bullied the female lead in the crew, Zhao Yun would definitely come forward. Zhao Yun had some influence, so these people didn't dare to act rashly. They could only talk about the female lead behind her back. Wen Chao was the second female lead. Shi Shang didn't delete her scenes, so she started to add scenes for her. The original author was angry and loving at the same time. The scenes added by Shi Shang didn't seem out of place in general, but she didn't know why she always felt weird. Sometimes, Wen Chao could only get the revised script on the same day, and the increase of scenes meant that her workload increased. Sometimes, she could only rest for 3 to 4 hours in 24 hours. Xiao Chao, come and drink some water. Zhao Yun passed a bottle of mineral water to Wen Chao. You must be tired recently. As the second male lead, Zhao Yun was naturally a warm man. He was as warm as he could be. I'm okay. Wen Chao's face was a little pale. Thank you, Brother Yun. And Zhao Yun organized his words and asked carefully, did you offend Lan Shang? Brother Yun? Wen Chao looked confused. She didn't seem to understand what Zhao Yun was talking about. Zhao Yun looked around and saw that no one was paying attention to them. He lowered his voice and said, Lan Shang kept adding scenes for you. Many of the other scenes were deleted. Don't you realize that the crew members have more and more opinions about you recently? He stood on the outside, so naturally he could see more clearly. Lan Shang was deliberately making things difficult for Wen Chao. But he had never heard of Lan Shang taking the initiative to make things difficult for anyone. She had a good reputation in the circle. Wen Chao didn't understand why Shi Shang added scenes for her. Now that Zhao Yun mentioned it, she finally understood. Recently, she was either busy with filming or catching up on sleep, so she didn't pay attention to the people around her. Her scenes were added so much. In order to maintain the number of episodes, some people's scenes would definitely be deleted. Wouldn't she become the target of public criticism? Lan Shang was so scheming. I'll talk to the author. Wen Chao stood up. Brother Yun, thank you. Zhao Yun smiled slightly. Wen Chao found the original author, who was holding a pile of manuscripts and pulling her hair. Miss Ching Chiu, may I disturb you for a moment? The author's pen name was Ching Chiu Yi Meng. When she introduced herself, she also said that she could be called Ching Chiu, so the crew members called her by her pen name. Miss Wen? Ching Chiu let go of her hair that was destroyed by herself and moved the things beside her aside to let Wen Chao sit. What's the matter? Ching Chiu was young, but her personality was more carefree and she seemed to be easy to talk to. I want to talk to you about adding scenes. Miss Ching Chiu has been adding scenes for me recently. Of course, I'm very grateful to Miss Ching Chiu for adding scenes for me. But will this affect the other actors' scenes? Wen Chao's words were very tactful. This is what Prince Charming asked me to add. Ching Chiu answered briefly. But this is your novel. Wen Chao hesitated. You don't want to ruin your own efforts? Ching Chiu widened her eyes and her expression was very strange. Let's put it this way to Miss Wen. I don't write novels for any interest, I just want to make money. Not every literary and artistic person had a literary and artistic heart. Ching Chiu belonged to the category that had no literary and artistic heart but was very talented. She wrote purely for money. If you were willing to pay to read, she would write. If you were happy reading, she would be happy earning. Both parties were willing. Wen Chao was a bit confused. This kind of down-to-earth author. It was a bit hard to adapt to. Ching Chiu slowly added another sentence. Prince Charming gave me extra money. Wen Chao. Ching Chiu E Meng. I also want to be a literary and artistic author, but reality forces me to bow down to money. Little fairy. That makes sense. Authors also need to eat. Ching Chiu E Meng. Trash. I earn money to sleep with all the best men in the world. Little fairy. Let me beg for a vote. Ching Chiu E Meng. Good for nothing. The above pen names are purely fictional. If there is any similarity, it is purely a failure to show off. Please do not take it seriously. Chapter 503. Wen Chao's negotiation ended before it started. Money was a simple and crude thing, but it was very effective. Wen Chao was in this torment of being added scenes, and added scenes. Do you think there's something going on between Wen Chao and the director? Otherwise, why would they only add scenes for her and we have to delete them? The female lead is suppressed by her, what can we say? This kind of person is the most annoying. She only knows how to use nepotism. But her acting skills are not bad. Someone next to her said something fair. Although Wen Chao's scenes were added, her acting was indeed good. Compared to the newcomers, she was definitely one of the best. Good acting is not as useful as good bed skills. Wen Chao happened to walk past them. They deliberately said this to Wen Chao. Xiao Chao, the next scene is coming. Zhao Yun interrupted. Go and get ready. Wen Chao nodded slightly. Thank you, Brother Yun. After Wen Chao left, Zhao Yun looked at the few actresses who spoke just now. It's impossible to be famous if you don't work hard and talk behind people's back. Zhao Yun was originally quite handsome. After hearing what he said, several actresses blushed and dispersed. Shi Shang crossed her legs and sat in the middle of the staff, holding her chin and talking on the phone. Remember to exercise. I'll check you when you go back. I know, I can go back earlier today. After Shi Shang finished the phone call, Xiao Bao came up. Sister Lan, the director said he's going for dinner. He asked if you want to go. Dinner? Of course she would go on the occasion of the accident. Those who went for dinner were the main creative team and the other investors who rushed over. Shi Shang was probably the only investor who stayed in the crew and ordered them to change the scene. Wen Chao was arranged to sit beside an investor, and the other actresses were also arranged to sit beside the investor. Shi Shang was such a big investor, the director naturally did not dare to make any arrangements. The dinner was considered peaceful. When it ended, the investor brought the actresses to the entertainment club for karaoke. Director, I'm not going. I haven't memorized the scenes changed today. I want to go back and memorize the lines. Wen Chao did not want to go to such places and whispered to the director. Shi Shang was standing beside the director. She squinted at Wen Chao. In fact, the two of them did not interact much in the crew. Shi Shang spent most of his time playing games while Wen Chao was busy filming every day. She did not have time to argue with Shi Shang. However, Wen Chao was still a little afraid of her. Her gaze was too penetrating. She always felt that she was weak and transparent in front of her, without any secrets. There are a few investors here today. You have to go through the motions. The director disagreed. Wen Chao couldn't refuse and could only follow. Naturally, there were all kinds of corruption when singing. Some people wanted to take the opportunity to climb up the tree and make themselves famous. Wen Chao had Zhao Yun's protection, so no one dared to force her to do anything. She just drank a lot of wine. Ugh. Wen Chao vomited for a while in the bathroom and went out while holding her swollen head. Mr. Su, a good dog doesn't block the way. Wen Chao's body swayed and fell against the wall. She leaned against the wall and looked towards the direction of the voice. Su Mu Yuan and Shi Shang were standing face to face. I thought we were already in a cooperative relationship. Su Mu Yuan squinted his eyes and looked at Shi Shang dangerously. I never promised you anything. It's all your own imagination. Shi Shang blinked innocently. Su Mu Yuan showed her the shares and wanted her to help against the Gu family. She had to admit that Su Mu Yuan was a very ambitious male lead. However, he used the Lan family shares to threaten her to go against her man's family. Was he retarded? Miss Lan, aren't you afraid that I'll do something to the Lan family? Mr. Su, it's good to be confident. I'm very optimistic about you. You're welcome to do it. Shi Shang grinned and smiled eerily. The dim light in the corridor shone on her face, making her look even more treacherous. Do you think I'm scared? Do you think I'm stumped with this little difficulty? Retarded. I can chop you up in a matter of minutes. Miss Lan, I know something about Gu Qi that you may not know. Are you interested in hearing it? Su Mu Yuan's voice stopped Shi Shang in his tracks. She turned her head slowly. Su Mu Yuan looked at her calmly with confidence as if he was in control of the situation. What's wrong with you? Shi Shang turned back to Su Mu Yuan. Su Mu Yuan felt that talking to this woman in front of him required a good psychological quality. Who knows what she might say in the next second that would catch you off guard? Miss Lan, I'm just telling you some facts. Thank you very much. Shi Shang snorted, but I don't want to know. Even if Gu Qi killed someone, she didn't care. She turned and left. Her shoes stepped on the smooth marble floor, making clicks. If you dare to touch him and my brother, I'll bury the whole Su family with them. Her voice was somewhat muffled by the cramped passageway, and it lingered in the air. Lan Shang, I'll give you 1 more month to consider. If you regret, you can come to me any time. Su Mu Yuan raised his voice. Shi Shang didn't stop and disappeared in front of Su Mu Yuan. He took out his phone and dialed a number. Start. The only weakness of the Gu family was Gu Qi. After hanging up the phone, Su Mu Yuan suddenly looked somewhere. Have you heard enough? When Chao's body stiffened and said weakly, I'm just passing by, she always felt short of breath in front of this man. The corner of Su Mu Yuan's mouth curled up into an evil smile and left. When Chao heaved a sigh of relief. This man was indeed the future entertainment tycoon. His aura scared her to death. She didn't quite understand the conversation between him and Shi Shang just now. She was a little dizzy and didn't continue to think about it. However, when Chao's relief didn't last long. The next day, she found out that she had slept with this entertainment tycoon. What's more strange was that there were photos of her and Su Mu Yuan in bed circulating on the internet. Although the photos were blurry and not fully nude, it was enough to make Su Mu Yuan furious. Good trick. Su Mu Yuan pinched Wen Chao's chin with a gloomy expression. Wen Chao's body still had traces from last night. It was especially eye-catching on her fair skin. Su Mu Yuan's eyes darkened. He actually had a reaction. I didn't do it. Wen Chao pulled the quilt to cover herself and explained calmly. How on earth did she come here last night? It's not you. Su Mu Yuan tightened his grip. There are only 2 of us in this room. If it's not you, who else could it be? Mr. Su, please look at the angle of the photo. I'm lying on top of you. How can I stand aside and take a photo? When Chao's chest moved up and down slightly, freeing her chin, it's just sleeping. I didn't ask you to take responsibility. Why are you so agitated? Chapter 504. Su Mu Yuan looked at the photo a few more times. The angle was indeed not something she could take. He took his phone and compared it in the room. Finally, he found a pinhole camera in the flower pot in the room. Su Mu Yuan asked someone to check it with a gloomy face. When Chao was already dressed, she pretended to be calm with a pale face. Mr. Su, let's just treat what happened yesterday as a one-night stand. When we walk out of this door, we won't know each other. Su Mu Yuan sneered. Do you think you can walk out of this door? What do you want? Does he want to kill me after sleeping with me? After a while, when Chao realized that Su Mu Yuan was referring to the paparazzi, the person who exposed the photo also exposed the address. There must be a lot of paparazzi waiting there. The photo was quickly deleted by Su Mu Yuan, but it couldn't stop people from discussing it online. Wan Qiao's performance in Proud Son was mentioned again. Wan Qiao made the headlines once. However, this headline didn't last long and was soon suppressed. Hashtag Lan Shang is suspected to be pregnant. Hashtag Shi Shang was dumbfounded when she saw the hot topic. She brought Gu Qi to the hospital for regular checkups. Someone took a picture of her and said that she was pregnant. Shang Shen, let's talk. Chen Yuan's voice was filled with anger. Sister Chen. I'm innocent. She and Gu Qi haven't had sex yet. How could she be pregnant? Chen Yuan tried to control herself. You feel uncomfortable if you don't go on the news every day, right? Can't you do something good? Look at what she has been doing recently. Sooner or later, she will have a heart attack because of her. She would make the headlines if she wasn't careful. But I didn't lose any fans. Shi Xing argued. Her fans didn't drop, but increased a lot. Her title as Prince Charming was not for nothing. I'm not talking to you. If you continue to create trouble for me, I'll take all your acting roles for the next 5 years. Chen Yuan said and hung up the phone. 5 years of acting. Sister Chen, you win. Chen Yuan quickly came out to refute the rumor. However, Shi Shang still made the headlines. Some netizens even asked when she and Gu Qi would have a baby. Shi Shang said, she can't give birth to a baby. Even genetic mutations couldn't make a human degenerate into an ape. Gu Qi was playing games at the side. Shi Shang rushed over and kissed him. Gu Qi let her kiss him. His reaction was slow for a long time before he responded to her slowly. What do you want to be in the future? Shi Shang let go of Gu Qi and looked down at him. Gu Qi kept silent for a while, then said word by word, with you. Other than this. Gu Qi was a little confused. He shook his head after a while. No. Shi Shang. He really didn't have any ambitions or ambitions. Forget it, it's not a problem to take care of him. If he likes it, so be it. Shi Shang kissed his cheek and said, let's go for a walk. Gu Qi was a little reluctant, but looking at Shi Shang's expression of you're dead if you don't go, he still slowly went to change his clothes. He had to exercise every night. After walking around the neighborhood for a few rounds, Gu Qi was unwilling to move anymore. He nestled on the sofa, holding the tablet, but his gaze was fixed on Shi Shang, who was sitting on the other side, making a phone call. He tilted his head, looked for a while, got down from the sofa and walked to Shi Shang. Under Shi Shang's puzzled gaze, he hugged her and started playing games. Shi Shang, you have to take this role, you haven't taken any roles recently. Shi Shang, are you listening to me? Chen Yuan shouted over the phone. Yes. Shi Shang replied, but this role doesn't suit me. Chen Yuan continued to shout, what do you mean it doesn't suit you? Didn't you take this kind of role before? I prefer roles in Proud Son now, don't you think such a handsome role suits me? Chen Yuan didn't speak for a long time. Shi Shang suspected that she was thinking about how to yell at her. You're a girl, why do you need to be handsome? It's not easy to find such a role. Do you think you wrote the script yourself? You've been messing around recently. Can't you just focus on acting? Chen Yuan spoke very fast. It was obvious that she was furious. They talked for a long time but still couldn't come to an agreement. Shi Shang said that she would only take roles like Proud Son now, but Chen Yuan forced her to take other roles. After hanging up the phone, Shi Shang let out a long sigh. She lowered her head to look at Gu Qi's screen. Gu Qi was playing a PK game with someone. Maybe it was inconvenient for him to hug her, so he lost in the end. I want to sleep. Shi Shang stared at Gu Qi. Gu Qi probably didn't want to sleep yet. He looked at the screen hesitantly, then at Shi Shang. Finally, he put down the tablet. Gu Qi's insomnia was so serious that he still had insomnia even after recuperating for a long time. Hugging your loved one to sleep can cure insomnia in novels, but it didn't work for Gu Qi. It was another sleepless night. Gu Qi only fell asleep in the morning. Shi Shang received a role a week later, the role of a police undercover. The setting was very similar to what Shi Shang said. But the investor column, Gu Qi he invested alone. In other words, it was very likely that he was the one who got someone to write this script. Shi Shang asked Gu Qi, but Gu Qi asked her seriously, "Don't you like it?" "I want to give you everything you like." Shi Shang admitted that she was flirted with. The quality of the script wasn't bad, it wasn't made at the last minute. In other words, Gu Qi had been looking for someone to make it for a long time. Where did you get the money? This was the main point. The Gu family gave Gu Qi money, but they couldn't give him so much, right? "I have a company." Shi Shang was speechless. "What are you talking about?" "You have a company like this. The company didn't collapse? It's enough for you to squander." Gu Qi added. So the assistant that Lin Zainan mentioned was not a joke. The company was basically managed by Lin Zainan, but the decision-maker was still Gu Qi. Gu Qi had the ability, but he didn't have a goal. His goal now was probably to take care of Shi Sheng. When Wen Qiao's drama ended, this drama would start shooting. But Shi Sheng didn't expect Wen Qiao to be part of the crew. The person who brought her into the crew was none other than Su Mu Yuan. Su Mu Yuan and the director were friends. It was no problem to put someone in. Although Gu Qi was an investor, he never asked about these things, so Shi Sheng didn't know about Wen Qiao's involvement until the shooting started. "Miss Lan, nice to meet you." Wen Qiao emphasized the words, "nice to meet you." "Miss Lan has always been my goal to surpass." Is taking someone as your goal to surpass stealing someone else's opportunity? Then I'm pretty unlucky. Shi Shang's lips tugged into a smile as she walked past her. Wen Qiao frowned slightly. This Lan Shang was too different from her previous life. Where did it go wrong? Asterisk little fairy. Mr. Gu, what do you like about Shi Sheng? Gu Qi. I like everything, she's the best. Little fairy. Don't compliment her, she can't see. Tell me, why do you like her when she's such a jerk? Gu Qi. Maybe because I'm a jerk too. Shi Sheng. Drawing sword, what did you say? Little fairy. Innocent face, I didn't say anything. Shi Shang. I heard everything, come and die. Little fairy. Let me beg for a vote before I die. Shi Shang. Okay. Chapter 505. Wen Qiao, what's wrong with you? Weren't you fine just now? The director yelled through the loudspeaker. Everyone was looking at the center. Wen Qiao's face was pale. Shi Shang was standing opposite her, filming a scene with her. She felt like she couldn't keep up with the pace. Come here, I'll explain to you. The director didn't continue to be angry as Wen Qiao was put in by Su Mu Yuan. Shi Shang asked Xiao Bao to get the phone. Xiao Bao quickly passed the phone over. Shi Shang replied to Gu Qi's message first, then clicked on the game. The background music of the game echoed in the studio. Some of the staff looked hopeless. How addicted is this movie queen to games? Look at her, she's definitely playing games when she's free. Hashtag addicted movie queen hashtag. Sister Lan, you're on the hot search list again. Xiao Bao raised the phone in front of Shi Shang, blocking her phone. Shi Shang was speechless. Dead. Shi Shang turned her head and stared at Xiao Bao. Sister Chen wants to give you 5 years of acting, Xiao Bao said weakly. Shi Shang looked at Xiao Bao's phone. She was squatting on the ground. She didn't know which staff took the picture behind her. That posture looked like a non-mainstream person squatting on the streets of the village. Netizen A. My idol's posture is so handsome even when he's playing games. Netizen B. My idol actually plays this game. My boyfriend plays it every day. I suspect he'll spend the rest of his life playing games. No way. I want to meet my idol in the game. My idol, please give me your ID. Netizen C. I give my idol 101 points for his down-to-earth posture. 1 more point and he'll be proud. Netizen D. Down-to-earth posture plus 1. Netizen E. Down-to-earth posture plus 2. Behind them was a row of formation. Shi Shang looked at her posture, then looked at Xiao Bao. She passed the phone to Xiao Bao. Give me another handsome one. Xiao Bao was speechless. Sister Chen really wants to give you 5 years of acting. Due to Shi Shang's abuse of power, Xiao Bao finally took a few photos for Shi Sheng. Compared to the sneaky photo, the front HD photo immediately made the fans excited. There were also people who asked if she was filming a new drama and wanted to know the name of the drama. The production crew did not let go of any opportunity to advertise. They immediately used this opportunity to advertise for free. Chen Yuan was almost immune to Shishang's behavior of being on the top of the trending list whenever she wanted. This was not a big deal, so Chen Yuan did not call the Shishang. Sister Lan, there's a fight scene today. Wan Qiao's stunt double can't make it because of something. You might have to work hard then. As soon as Shishang entered the film set, he was informed of the bad news. Without a stunt double, it meant that she might not be able to control her inner strength during the fight and injure Wan Qiao. That would be terrible. Can't we find one at the last minute? The staff member shook his head helplessly. It was not easy to find a temporary one. Even if they found it, they might not be able to shoot it well. There aren't many fighting scenes. Sister Lan, please help out. The staff member blinked and acted cute. Shishang's mouth twitched. Do you think you're a girl? The staff member who was rejected was speechless. Was it his fault to be a man? Everyone in the production crew knew that cute girls would act cute to her. She was easy to talk to, especially the kind that looked soft and tender and spoke very nicely. But she basically had no chance to be a man. Sometimes, she would be impatient before they even said a word. No one else had such a weird temper. You're a girl. Why are you fighting with these single dogs for a girl? Can't you let people fall in love? The production crew could not find a stunt double in the end, so Wan Qiao had to do it herself. The martial arts director was explaining the moves to Wan Qiao while Shishang was playing with his phone in the next room. The background of the game made Wan Qiao a little annoyed. The martial arts director's words went in one ear and out the other. When they finally started shooting, there was indeed a problem. Wan Qiao's moves were not on point at all. Either she did not have enough strength or she was in the wrong position. After more than 10 NGs, Wan Qiao had several bruises on her body. When Wan Qiao jumped down from a high place, she did not know if there was a problem with the prop. It could not bear her weight and she fell directly from above. A gust of cold wind suddenly blew past Shishang. Sumu Yuan rushed to Wan Qiao's side. Are you okay? Wan Qiao looked at the man who suddenly appeared and was a little confused. Why are you here? Just passing by. Wan Qiao was speechless. How could he pass by the film studio? Is that President Su? Could it be that the photo back then was real? Wan Qiao really had an affair with President Su? Isn't it obvious? President Su is so handsome. Wan Qiao did not fall very seriously. Sumu Yuan carried Wan Qiao to the restroom. Shishang thought this matter would not affect him. After all, he was not the one who pushed Wan Qiao. But he did not expect that Mr. Plot, that little bitch, would not let him off so easily. Hey, this is Sister Lan's private restroom. Xiao Bao stopped Sumu Yuan who wanted to barge in. There were only a few scenes here. To save time and money, the crew only prepared 2 restrooms. One was for Shishang's exclusive use and the other was for public use. Move. Sumu Yuan's aura was strong. Xiao Bao was intimidated by the aura and stepped back in fear. But he still did not move. Sister Lan. Sister Lan. He shouted at the top of his voice. Shishang was already walking towards him. What are you shouting for? You don't even know how to send someone away. Xiao Bao was speechless. This person is so fierce. Shishang ignored Sumu Yuan's gaze. He pulled Xiao Bao out and locked the door in front of Sumu Yuan. Kick the door if you dare. Shishang moved aside and pointed at the locked door. Sumu Yuan was speechless. Xiao Bao was speechless. Sister Lan, you will get beaten up easily. Sumu Yuan saw that there were many people in the restroom next door and it was very messy. That was why he went to the empty restroom. As a senior, shouldn't Miss Lan show some manners? Sumu Yuan's eyes were slightly cold. Sorry, I don't have that. Shishang put his hands on his waist. Are you going to kick it or not? If you have manners, why are you arguing with I? Such a powerful CEO, can't you go to the side and kick those people out? Su Mu Yuan looked at the door in front of him and felt that there was something wrong with this woman's words. She seemed to be waiting for him to kick it. He stared at Shi Shang for a few seconds. Finally, he carried Wen Qiao and turned to leave. Shi Shang's face was full of pity. If he dared to kick it, she dared to extort money from him. Don't talk about conscience and moral integrity with this scumbag. Those things have long been crushed into powder and eaten by dogs. When he went out, a tall man with flowers walked towards him. The huge bouquet blocked the man's face. Both of them brushed past each other. Su Mu Yuan frowned and turned back to look at the man who had walked into the set with the bouquet. Asterisk little fairy. I give you flowers, you give me tickets. Chapter 506. Gu Qi's appearance on the set was definitely out of Shi Shang's expectation, especially with such a huge bouquet of flowers. Male god strength is at its peak. Oh my god, he's so handsome. He's even more handsome in person than in photos. Male god must be handsome, only then he's worthy of male god. True. I can't take it anymore, I'm going to faint. Gu Qi walked to Shi Shang amidst the screams of a group of female staff. The bright bouquet made his face look like a special effect. For you. Gu Qi handed the bouquet over. Shi Shang took it with a smile and pulled Gu Qi's collar. Gu Qi cooperated and lowered his head. Their lips touched. Screams came one after another, along with the sound of shutters being pressed. Without exception, Shi Shang was on the headlines again. A group of fans spammed 999 below. It was no pressure at all to be on the headlines. Chen Yuan had already given up. At least it's not a bad thing to be on the headlines on the first day. In the lounge, Shi Shang put the bouquet away. Why are you here? I missed you. Gu Qi did not hide his fondness for her. I've been a little busy these days. She was in a rush for filming these days, so she did not go home late at night. Did you not sleep at night again? Gu Qi looked away and did not answer. I knew it. Due to Wen Qiao's injury, the director could only shoot other people's scenes first, freeing up some time for Shi Shang. Gu Qi and she went out for a walk. Then they were all on the hot topics. Male gods fans expressed, our male god has already booked the first day. Other artistes expressed, looks are a shortcoming. At night, someone commented on Su Mu Yuan's and Gu Qi's appearances on the set. The person who posted it probably did not have any bad intentions, but the fans from both sides suddenly started arguing. The news that was previously suppressed by Su Mu Yuan was also brought up in this argument, saying that Wen Qiao was a scheming B*TCH who climbed into Su Mu Yuan's bed. Wen Qiao's fans immediately fought back, saying that Shi Shang also climbed into Gu Qi's bed. Gu Qi's identity was no secret. He was the young master of Huan Yu Corporation. Every strand of his hair was worth thousands of dollars. Shi Shang's fans were not convinced. Their idol was with Gu Qi, but he was also a person of status. Besides, she was already a movie queen when she was not with Gu Qi. Why would she need to climb into Gu Qi's bed? Wen Qiao's fans also said that it was all because of her family's wealth that made her famous. If her family wasn't rich, how could she be so popular? Was it their idol's fault that he was rich? Why was her Prince Charming so strange? You didn't reincarnate well and now you're blaming others for it? If you guys are so awesome, why don't you go and save the solar system? Thus, the two sides engaged in a catfight that attracted the attention of countless netizens. Chen Yuan cried until she fainted in the bathroom. #my artist is always causing trouble. #who was better at stirring up trouble? Huan Yu's Gu family is looking for a male god. Chen Yuan's conversation when she entered the company was like this. Colleague A. Sister Chen, did Prince Charming cause trouble today? Colleague B. Sister Chen, your idol is in the headlines again. Colleague C. Sister Chen, can you let our idol make the headlines? Colleague D. Sister Chen, Prince Charming blah blah blah. The catfight ended a few days later because there was no main character to join in. The entertainment industry was like this. As long as there was something new, the topic would change quickly. Wan Qiao returned to the set for filming, but the progress was as slow as usual. Shi Shang was playing games on his phone while Wen Qiao was being scolded by the director. Shi Shang even gave Wen Qiao a sympathetic cry. Since Wen Qiao returned, her condition was not right. This had nothing to do with her, it was Wen Qiao's own condition that was not right. Kakaka, that's all for today. The director threw the loudspeaker angrily. Everyone looked at the broken loudspeaker on the ground in silence. Director, the loudspeaker was also very expensive. When Qiao walked past Shi Shang, she suddenly paused. Lan Shang, what did I do to offend you? Shi Shang, wasn't it you who had been stealing my scenes? How did it become her fault? Professional scapegoat for 100 years. Scapegoat Shang expressed her dissatisfaction. However, before she could say anything, she heard Wen Qiao said in a very firm tone, Lan Shang, I will definitely surpass you, let's wait and see. It's my honor. She was proud to be the role model of the female lead. Asterisk flips table asterisk proud my ass. The female lead was going to fight head-on. Come on, let's fight head-on. Wen Qiao left full of fighting spirit. Shi Shang pouted, finished the rest of the filming and was ready to go home. After removing her makeup, she received a call from Gu Hao, asking if Shi Shang could bring Gu Qi home for dinner. Shi Shang asked him why. Gu Hao then told her that it was Gu Qi's birthday today. Gu Qi's birthday? Shi Shang's expression was weird for a while. She remembered that Gu Qi's birthday on his ID card was not today. Shi Shang returned to the apartment and found the door open. There were all kinds of noises inside. A group of non-mainstream people with different hair colors were walking around the house. Sister-in-law is back. Hello, sister-in-law. Hello, sister-in-law. The hooligans greeted Shi Shang with smiles on their faces. It was not their first time here. Since someone was in charge of cleaning up, Shi Shang did not mind. Goddess, you're back. I was just about to call you. Lin Zhe Nan squeezed out from the group of punks. It's boss's birthday today. Goddess, what are you going to give him? Shi Shang was speechless. It's really Gu Qi's birthday. Shi Shang pulled Lin Zhe Nan to a corner. It's not today on Gu Qi's ID card. So, goddess, you don't know that it's boss's birthday today? Shi Shang nodded honestly. What Gu Hao told her just now did not count. Lin Zhe Nan looked around like a thief, then pulled Shi Shang into the bathroom. It's a long story, I'll make it short. Boss's birthday is indeed on the day of his ID card, but today is his mother's death anniversary. Ever since his mother passed away, Boss has insisted on celebrating his birthday on this day. Why? Lin Zhe Nan scratched his head. Do you know how his mother died? Shi Shang shook her head. She knew that Gu Qi's mother was dead. Gu Qi's father never remarried, and there were no other women outside. Don't tell anyone that I told you. Lin Zhe Nan lowered his voice. 10 years ago, his mother and Boss were kidnapped at the same time. His mother was stabbed more than 20 times in order to protect him. Shi Shang was shocked to hear such a thing. After a while, she said, So, Gu Qi's current state is related to this incident? Lin Zhe Nan shook his head. The only change is that Boss changed his birthday to today. Gu Qi had been like this since he was young. The Gu family worried a lot about this, but nothing changed. It was as if he was born with no feelings. He could not get close to anyone. He had been with Gu Qi for so many years, but he had never seen him smile or get angry. It was as if the things they called feelings were like dust in his eyes. They had no effect at all. Asterisk hashtag suddenly I feel sorry for Gu Qi hashtag. Chapter 507. After those people left, Shi Shang brought Gu Qi to the Gu family's house. On the way, he called the Gu family. The Gu family welcomed their young master with great enthusiasm. Shi Shang was so shocked that he thought he walked into the wrong house. Gu Qi, on the other hand, held his hand calmly and walked inside. Little young master, little young madam. The butler bowed slightly. It was just right. Shi Shang was speechless. What kind of joke is young mistress? There were not many people in the villa's hall. They were the ones he saw last time. Brother. Why is Lon Qing here too? Babe. Lon Qing stood up to give Shi Shang a loving hug and a kiss at the same time. Gu Qi waited for Lon Qing to let go of Shi Shang, then pulled him into his arms and wiped Shi Shang's cheeks with his hand. Lon Qing was speechless. Kissing my baby sister was rejected. Brother-in-law, you're awesome. Lon Qing pulled Shi Shang to his side. Gu Qi was afraid that he would hurt Shi Shang, so he let go of his hand first. Brother. What are you doing? No, why are you here? Oh, I'm here to discuss a collaboration with Gu Hao. You called him just now and told him to bring him back, so he asked me to come over. Lon Qing rubbed Shi Shang's head. Are you tired recently? Let me see, why do you look so pale? Did you not sleep well recently? Let me tell you, you're not married yet. You can't give me a nephew. Lon Qing activated his nagging mode. Brother, I'll go say hi to Grandpa Gu first. Shi Shang slipped away. Hey, you little girl. You don't listen to me anymore, do you? Lon Qing grabbed Gu Qi and started nagging again. Let me tell you, I only have one baby sister. You have to take good care of her. Even if you're cold, you can't let my baby be cold. After greeting everyone in the Gu family, Grandpa Gu gave her a big gift. Grandpa, I guess you're not short of money, so I won't give you those vulgar gifts. Grandpa Gu sighed. Grandpa, don't worry. I'll take good care of him. Old Master Gu smiled and patted Shi Shang's head. This child has a tough life. I'll have to trouble you in the future. This is the first time I've seen Shao Qi so close to someone. All they gave him was a pile of money and a cold life. They wanted to give him warmth, but he couldn't feel it at all. He wasn't avoiding it on purpose. He was born this way. But the girl in front of him was different. He could walk into Gu Qi's heart. She was different to Gu Qi. After Old Master Gu finished speaking, Mr. Gu called Shi Shang aside. Little Shen, can I call you that? Of course. Shi Shang nodded with a smile. Mr. Gu and Old Master Gu heaved a long sigh. Shao Qi is unlucky. I've never seen him smile before. When he was young, he was different from other children. Other children would be happy for half a day just because of a candy or a hug, but he always acted like a little adult. He didn't cry or make a fuss, just looked at them coldly. We did everything we could, but we couldn't even get her to smile at us. Later, we thought, as long as he lived well, everything would be fine. Mr. Gu took a deep breath. But you appeared. You may not know, but the first time I saw you was many years ago. At that time, you were only 15 or 16 years old. You were a very energetic girl. It was the Spring Festival 5 years ago. Lon Shang was lucky enough to be on the Spring Festival Gala. The Gu family had a tradition of watching the Spring Festival Gala together. All the family members gathered together. Gu Qi hadn't moved out yet. He sat alone in a corner, playing games as if it had nothing to do with him. The first time he looked up, it was Lon Shang's performance. Then, he put down the game console and walked to the middle seat. After the show, he asked Gu Hao who she was. Lon Shang wasn't very popular at that time, so Gu Hao didn't know her. Later, Mr. Gu called his acquaintances in the TV station to find out her name. At that time, he just asked for her name and didn't do anything else. They observed for a few days and didn't find anything different, so they didn't pay much attention to it. Not long ago, he heard that Gu Qi was dating Shi Shang. Mr. Gu wanted to check Shi Shang's information, but was stopped by Gu Qi. He asked around and remembered what happened that night. Sorry to trouble you, Shao Qi. Mr. Gu's last sentence was very solemn, but it was the same as what Old Master Gu said. The birthday celebration was very grand, but Gu Qi was expressionless. He looked at them coldly and wished him well. As the future brother-in-law, Lon Qing was taken care of by the Gu family. In the end, he got drunk. When the party ended, it was already very late. Everyone drank, so Shi Shang and Gu Qi could only stay at the Gu family's house for one night. Gu Qi's room was cleaned every day, so he could stay there directly. The two went into the room to wash up. Shi Shang went to bed first after washing up. Gu Qi came out after washing up. Not happy. Shi Shang saw Gu Qi's expression was a bit strange. Gu Qi walked to the window and pulled the curtains. With his back facing her, he kept silent for a long time before saying, "Lin Zhe Nan told you everything?" "Yes." Gu Qi turned around and walked towards Shi Shang. He climbed onto the bed, held her in his arms and rested his chin on her head. Shi Shang put her hands on his waist and let him hug her. About 5 minutes later he said, "I should be the one who died, but she stood in front of me. I don't understand." Shi Shang patted his back. "This is a kind of love. Just like how you like me, she likes you too." Silence. "I don't treat her well." It's not contradictory. It doesn't mean that if you treat someone well, they have to treat you well. She's your mother. This kind of relationship is known as the greatest love in the world. She loves you very much. Shi Shang's heart was filled with chicken soup. She felt that she could be a caring sister. "I'm just so all round." Gu Qi suddenly tightened his arms. "Every night when I close my eyes, I can see her lying in front of me with blood all over her body." The strings in Shi Shang's mind tightened. Gu Qi didn't suffer from insomnia? Was it a psychological barrier? No wonder Gu Qi still couldn't fall asleep every night after all her efforts. He didn't dare to sleep at all. That's troublesome. Shi Shang raised her head and kissed Gu Qi. Gu Qi responded softly to her. The next morning, Shi Shang unfortunately had 2 dark circles under her eyes when she woke up. Shi Shang felt that it was torture to sleep with her man but not be able to do anything. Shi Shang called Chen Yuan to ask for Dr. Wei's phone number before Gu Qi woke up. After making an appointment with him, she looked at the time. Gu Qi should wake up when she came back. Shi Shang went out of the room carefully and met Gu Hao outside. "Xiao Shang, you're up so early? Don't young people like to sleep in?" "Good morning, brother. I have to meet someone later." Shi Shang and Gu Hao went downstairs together. "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the office. I can give you a lift on the way." Shi Shang told him the name of a place. Gu Hao thought for a while and roughly remembered where it was. "It's on the way. I'll give you a lift after breakfast." "Thank you, brother." Gu Hao smiled gently. "Don't mention it. We're family." "Is Xiao Qi still not awake? Isn't he going with you?" "Yeah, I'll come back to pick him up after I'm done." "Don't. It's always the boys taking care of the girls." Gu Hao shook his head helplessly. Shi Shang smiled and replied, "I'm willing to take care of him." Her man was meant to be spoiled. Hashtag today's apple-flavored ticket hashtag. Chapter 508. Shi Shang went to see Dr. Wei. However, he did not get much useful information. Dr. Wei had only met Gu Qi a few times. Gu Qi was probably the strangest patient Dr. Wei had ever seen. He could fall asleep easily during the day, but he could not sleep at night. Dr. Wei had asked him to come over at night and hypnotize him. However, hypnosis did not work on him. In Dr. Wei's words, he was like a cold machine. There were no emotions that a human should have in him. Shi Shang and Dr. Wei parted ways and went back to the Gu family. Su family's villa. Su Mu Yuan was flipping through the documents in his hand. 2 men in suits were sitting on the sofa opposite him. Their bodies were stiff and their expressions were nervous. Slap. Both of them were shocked at the same time and lowered their heads. Su Mu Yuan's face was gloomy. "This is what you've done?" "President Su," one of them said under pressure, "those shareholders don't have a lot of shares. They don't need to report to the headquarters for the transfer of shares. It's not a lot, but they have 15% in total." Both of them dared not to speak anymore. 15% was not a lot, but Su Mu Yuan only had 13% in total. He had always wanted to acquire the shares from those small shareholders. However, They either asked for a high price or did not want to sell at all. Now, it had been sold off without a sound. How could Sumu Yuan not be angry? Good job, Lan Sheng. Sumu Yuan looked at the magazine on the coffee table. It was the promotional picture of Proud Son. President Sumu Yuan threw the magazine into the trash can. Make an appointment with Lan Sheng. Sumu Yuan was about to make an appointment with Shi Shang, but Shi Shang had already made an appointment with another shareholder. The shareholder only sent an agent to negotiate. Miss Lan, I don't understand. These shares are very valuable, why do you? Shi Shang raised his eyebrows. You're pleasing to the eye. Isn't it good to sell them to you at a low price? Don't take a reward for nothing, Miss Lan, we all understand this principle. The other party was obviously very cautious. With so many shares, even if she asked for a high price, there would be people who would want it. However, she sold them to him at a price lower than the market price. Forget it, there are people who want it. Shi Shang got up and was ready to leave. It wasn't that she couldn't sell these things. Just as she said earlier, the other party had the most shares and looked more pleasing to the eye. She did not buy these shares at a high price. The price she sold them at was enough to recoup her losses. As for what methods he would use, of course, it was the old way. As long as there were humans, there would be ghosts. Even ghosts couldn't defeat fists. Wait. The man stopped Shi Shang. I need to ask for instructions. After all, the amount you're offering is not a small sum. 3 minutes. The other party nodded and left with his phone. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The other party came back from outside. Our boss wants to talk to you personally about this matter. Is it convenient for Miss Lan now? Shi Shang looked at the time and wrote down the address of the apartment on a napkin. It's not convenient. Tell him to find me here. The agent. Your attitude is really... Shi Shang didn't stay for a second longer. He got up and left. However, she had a bargaining chip in her hand. Even if the other party was unwilling, he could only make a trip himself. The negotiation process went smoothly. Who would reject money that was given to them? The change of shares also represented the change of the company's core members. Shi Shang's purpose of doing this was to warn Sumu Yuan. If he dared to touch Lan Qing and Gu Qi, the consequences would not be as simple as the change of shares. Sumu Yuan did settle down and focused on supporting Wen Qiao. After Shi Shang's movie ended, Wen Qiao quickly became popular under Sumu Yuan's support. From an 18th tier star to a 3rd tier star. It was said that she was nominated for the Best Newcomer Award at the Golden Flower Film Festival. The Golden Flower Film Festival was considered a relatively authoritative institution in the country. If she really won the Best Newcomer Award, Wen Qiao would be promoted to a 2nd-tier star and her value would double. Shi Shang, the movie queen, was also nominated. Chen. Chen Yuan, a busy person, naturally came personally at this time. The organizer called me just now and transferred your position to the front. Shi Shang held a small mirror and looked left and right. Why? Shouldn't a big shot like me be the last to appear? Chen Yuan. Can you be more narcissistic? The organizer told me to let you warm up for the first half of the show. Shi Shang threw the small mirror away. You believe that? Of course I don't. Chen Yuan immediately expressed her position. But this was arranged by the organizer, I can't say anything. I heard that a few artists were transferred. Shi Shang rolled her eyes at Chen Yuan. When she was about to say something, someone knocked on the car window. Chen Yuan looked out of the car window and frowned. Who is this person? Shi Shang rolled down the car window directly. Lin Zhainan's smiling face was immediately colored. Goddess, the boss is over there. He wants you to sit in his car. Although he was not in the entertainment industry, as the young master of the Gu family, many people wanted to see him walk on the red carpet. The organizer would definitely not reject him. Shi Shang lifted her skirt and was about to get out of the car. Shen. Chen Yuan pulled her. Who is he talking about? How can my artist just go with someone else, especially at this time? Gu Qi, Mr. Gu, go ahead. Chen Yuan's expression changed immediately. Good luck. Shi Shang was speechless. He did not expect Sister Chen to be like this. Gu Qi's car was parked slightly behind. His appearance would definitely be late. When Shi Shang went over, it attracted some people's attention. They all looked at the car curiously, but they could not see anything. Shi Shang got into the car. Gu Qi rarely dressed formally. He naturally hugged Shi Shang and kissed her on the lips. He was probably afraid of messing up her makeup, so he did not go further. Why are you here? I want to be with you. Gu Qi said softly. I can't leave you. Flirting at the drop of a hat. Gu Qi said seriously, then don't leave. Boss, goddess, I'm still here. Lin Zhe Nan's resentful voice came from the front. Do they think I'm invisible? The single man got a huge blow. Such public displays of affection will lead to a quick death. Gu Qi did not say anything. Shi Shang and Lin Zhe Nan chatted for a while. Time passed quickly. Soon, it was Gu Qi's turn. As Shi Shang was in Gu Qi's car, Chen Yuan contacted the organizer. The organizer could not say anything. After all, he was the young master of the Gu family. It was better not to offend him. The car stopped at the entrance. Reporters from all parties were looking forward to it. They did not know who was sitting in the cars beforehand. It was like opening an Easter egg, expecting a surprise in each car. #1111 spreading dog food #cherub. You'll get beaten up if you do this. Little fairy, I'm not afraid 233333 cherub. You don't want the tickets anymore? Little fairy. I won't say anything. Chapter 509. Gu Qi got off the car first. Once he appeared, some people recognized him and took photos of him. The young master of the Gu family was here. Lon Shang must be in the car. Gu Qi went to the other side of the car, opened the door, bent down slightly and reached out his hand. The reporters suddenly quieted down, waiting for the person inside to come out. First, a fair little hand appeared in everyone's sight, then a blue skirt slid out of the car. The skirt covered her feet, and the person inside stood up slowly. A blue V-neck dress with hand-embroidered patterns like a phoenix spreading its wings. Different from other artists, her V-neck was not exposed at all. Everything that should be covered was covered. But when she stood there was a kind of aura that made people unable to take their eyes off her. Gu Qi put Shi Shang's hand in his arm and walked on the red carpet with her. Prince Charming, look here. Ah, I see a living Prince Charming, so handsome. Shi Shang's fans stood outside the cordon and screamed excitedly. There were a few minutes of stop time on the red carpet. Shi Shang smiled and waved at them. She brought Gu Qi to another direction so that the fans could take better photos. Remember to take good photos of us. Several reporters were speechless. Prince Charming, look here, how can the photos taken by fans be better than those taken by professionals? Do you still want to be on the headlines? The fans took photos of Shi Shang and Gu Qi seriously with their mobile phones. Prince Charming, don't worry, I will add special effects for you, the kind that costs $100. Prince Charming, can you kiss Prince Charming Gu? I want to see it. Kiss, kiss. Shi Shang looked at Gu Qi helplessly. Gu Qi frowned slightly, probably because he did not like this kind of occasion. He looked at the fans who were shouting slogans, lowered his head slowly and gave Shi Shang a peck on the lips. On the red carpet, a guy lowered his head and kissed a girl. The lighting engineer shone all the lights on them. The scene was as beautiful as a fairy tale. The two kissed for a short time. The reporters did not react. Did they really kiss? But the fans were prepared and were honored to take photos. The poor reporters were blocked by the fans and did not manage to take any photos. The fans and reporters already had a clear position, so they couldn't squeeze in even if they wanted to. In the end, they could only ask the fans if they could send them a copy of the photo. As a professional reporter, she actually had to ask for photos from a fan. What was even more infuriating was that this group of fans actually refused to sell it. How could their Prince Charming be tarnished with money? Only diamonds could match up to their Prince Charming's aura. What kind of person would have what kind of fans? What kind of saying was that? In the end, the reporter found the picture on Weibo. She was just a walking best actress who abused dogs. Why would she need them? Her fans would send her to the headlines in minutes. After entering the venue, more and more people came to greet Shi Shang, including the directors, scriptwriters, and investors of various film crews. Of course, there were also many who came for Gu Qi. However, young Master Gu's face was cold and indifferent, so no one dared to talk to him. They could only exchange a few words with Shi Shang. Prince Charming. Qingqiu squeezed through the crowd. Shi Shang's mouth twitched. You're nominated too? Qingqiu raised her chin with a look of contempt. Although I'm materialistic, my writing is not bad. Isn't it normal to be nominated? This is your man. Qingqiu walked around Gu Qi, took out her phone and smiled. Prince Charming, let's take a few photos together. It was all about money. It could be sold for a lot of money, and it could be copied infinitely. That's enough. My man's photos are not for sale. Shi Shang saw through Qingqiu's intention at a glance. Stingy. Qingqiu was a little unwilling. She stretched out a finger. Just one photo. Promise you won't sell it. Okay, I won't sell it. I'll take it back and frame it. I'll encourage myself to find such a handsome Prince Charming in the future, okay? Shi Shang exposed, then take nude photos all day and sell them? Qingqiu was shy. What kind of truth are you talking about? A moment of silence for this girl's future man. Qingqiu was not poor. Judging from her behavior, she was a girl with a good upbringing. Moreover, she earned a lot of money herself. But this girl was obsessed with money all day long. She was always excited when money was mentioned. Don't even talk if you don't have money. Come on, find a good one. Qingqiu handed the phone to Shi Shang, then walked to Gu Qi. Shi Shang shook his head helplessly. Seeing that Gu Qi did not object, he opened his camera and took a photo of them. Qingqiu took the photo and ran away happily. Shi Shang was speechless. Qingqiu ran back again before she could recover from her shock. She automatically made a pose beside Shi Shang. With a click, she kept her phone and left in one smooth motion. Shi Shang was speechless. Didn't we agree on it before? Why did it go wrong now? A few staff members hurriedly ran past Shi Shang. Shi Shang soon heard people discussing. Meng Shiran was arguing with the organizer because of her appearance. Meng Shiran was the girl who fought with the female lead for a room in the hotel. This girl seemed to be busy with filming for the past year and did not find fault with the female lead. Since she met her here, she would definitely do her best to find fault with her. Shi Shang heard that Meng Shiran only stopped when Sumu Yuan stepped in. But her appearance was mentioned before Wan Qiao's. It was not over yet. When Wan Qiao walked on the red carpet, she met crazy fans. It was said that the shoulder straps of her dress were torn off. When the ceremony started, Sumu Yuan brought the female lead into the venue. Fortunately, the lights were gathered on the stage at this time. The light below the stage was not very bright, so no one noticed them. So who will win the Best Newcomer Award? Brother Shao Kai. How can you peek? Show me who it is. The host's playful voice spread through the venue through the microphone. Don't snatch it, I can't run away with the Best Newcomer Award. After some jesting, the host finally got to the point. This year's Best Newcomer Award, Wan Qiao. The big screen behind immediately showed Wan Qiao's photos. There were stills and art photos. The lights gathered on Wan Qiao. Wan Qiao bowed gratefully and walked to the podium. The host handed the stage to Wan Qiao. Wan Qiao's acceptance speech was short and concise. She did not lose her composure like other artists. She was calm from the beginning to the end. Okay, next is our best screenwriter. Unsurprisingly, Qingqiu, the gold digger, won this award. Finally, this year's Best Actress Award. I wonder who will win it this year. I'm looking forward to it. Let me see who it is. The host unwrapped the card and slowly opened it while the crowd held their breaths. This year's Best Actress award is... Chapter 510. Meng Shi-ran. The audience was silent for a few seconds. Many people looked at Shi-sheng. Everyone thought it would be Shi-sheng, but it turned out to be Meng Shi-ran. Clap, clap, clap. After a few seconds, the applause seemed to have slowed down. Meng Shi-ran's originally somewhat ugly expression, only then did it become better. Gu Qi held Shi-sheng's hand. Shi-sheng turned around and gave Gu Qi a faint smile. The camera happened to capture this scene. The fans who were watching the live broadcast were angry at first, but they were shocked when they saw this scene. The bullet screen instantly filled the whole screen. With Prince Charming Gu can defeat everyone in seconds. A Golden Flower Award is nothing. Our Prince Charming is aiming for an Oscar. An Oscar +1. Come on, Prince Charming, we love you forever. After the award ceremony ended, the people in the venue left slowly. They still had to be interviewed outside. Usually, only the winners would leave from the main entrance. Those who did not win would choose to leave from the back. However, Shi-sheng and Gu Qi appeared at the main entrance. The reporters immediately focused their attention on them. Miss Lan, when is your wedding with Mr. Gu? May I ask, Miss Lan, why are you with Mr. Gu? Miss Lan, may I ask? All kinds of questions were thrown at them. Some were good, some were bad. Shi-sheng did not want to answer these people's questions. He prepared to leave with the escort of the venue's security. However, Gu Qi suddenly took away a reporter's interview microphone. The reporters who were still asking questions suddenly quieted down. My wedding with Lan Sheng will be held at the end of this year. Thank you for your concern, Gu Qi said and returned the microphone to the reporter. He protected Shi-sheng and walked out. When they passed by the fans, Shi-sheng and Gu Qi stopped for a while. A group of reporters looked at Shi-sheng strangely, who was communicating well with the fans. So they can't win against a group of fans? No, Gu Qi just answered the question. They are holding their wedding at the end of the year? Prince Charming, can I have your autograph? The fan asked with a blushing face. Sure, where should I sign? The little fan pointed at her clothes. Shi-sheng took the pen from the fan and signed his name on the fan's clothes. Come, one by one. There was no time limit for the fans to leave the venue, so Shi-sheng signed autographs for all the fans present. Fortunately, there weren't many people at the venue. Otherwise, the Shi-sheng wouldn't be able to finish signing. After signing the autograph, they wanted to take photos together. Some were taken with Shi-sheng alone, and some were taken with Shi-sheng and Gu Qi together. At the end, there was a group photo. Alright, it's getting late. Let's hurry back. Be careful on the road. Shi-sheng waved at them with a pile of gifts in his arms. The fans left reluctantly. Prince Charming is so handsome and so gentle. If only I were a boy. Prince Charming Gu is so blessed. Yes, yes. Prince Charming Gu must have saved the Milky Way in his previous life. It has to be at least the solar system. I want to go back and show off the autograph and photo that the goddess gave me. Ha ha ha, those who didn't come will be so jealous. Me too. What was the highlight of the Golden Flower Awards? It wasn't about who won the Best Actress award. It was the headline of Gu Qi and Lan Shen's upcoming wedding. The two of them were inhumane when it came to abusing dogs. Now, they were actually getting married. Usually, artists would choose to get married at a later date to attract more fans. However, after the news of Shi-sheng and Gu Qi's upcoming wedding was released, the number of fans increased instead of decreasing. People from all parties hated this evil society based on appearances. The netizens expressed a lot of doubts about the Golden Flower Awards. Why didn't their Prince Charming win the Best Actress award? Why? Shady. It's definitely shady. The official explanation of the Golden Flower Awards came out quickly, stating that it was the result of multiple selections by the judges. Of course, the fans didn't believe it. They started to post comments under the official blog. Before this matter was exposed, the official blog of the Entertainment Express suddenly released a list of nominees for the Academy Awards. The film, Proud Son, and Shishang's name were on the list. The fans immediately went crazy. Even without the Golden Flower Awards, we still have the Oscars. Their Prince Charming was the best. Shishang also received a call from Chen Yuan and told her about the news. Even if she didn't win an Oscar this time, the foreign circle had already sent her invitations. Shen, I can't keep up with your pace. You're so fast. Chen Yuan finally complained and decided to recharge her batteries. Chen Yuan handed over all the artists under her to other people and focused on managing Shishang again. She did everything by herself so that she wouldn't go to the heavens just because of a disagreement. She meant to make the headlines. However, despite Chen Yuan's precautions, her artists still maintained the trend of being on the hot topics for 3 days and on the headlines for 5 days. The fans on the internet now called her the Prince Charming who took over the headlines. The TV series of the Republic of China that Shishang invested in started broadcasting. The first few episodes were well received, but towards the end, the audience felt that something was wrong. Who was the female lead? Why did the second female lead have more scenes than the female lead? Where did the male lead go? The female lead was bullied to such an extent, but he didn't come out. Wasn't the second female lead a gentle and lovely person? Why did it seem so wrong? Although she looked gentle and lovely in the show, she gave them a feeling of aggressiveness. The female lead was pitted, the male lead was despised, and the second female lead was scolded. When Xiao looked at the comments on the internet and laughed at herself, I didn't expect her intention to add scenes for me to be this. She added a lot of scenes, but they were basically a few more sentences or a few more actions. It didn't seem like much, but when it was connected, it was particularly thought-provoking. The man beside Wen Qiao raised his head slightly. It's not shameful to be defeated by her. When Qiao looked at Sumu Yuan, her expression was a bit unpleasant. You mean I'm not as good as her? Sumu Yuan thought for a while and nodded. Wen Qiao's eyes were filled with unwillingness. She would surpass her one day. Lan Shen, wait and see. Because of the bad reviews of the show, those who wanted to use Wen Qiao started to decline. Sumu Yuan used the company's resources to help Wen Qiao keep some. But the content was completely different from what Wen Qiao wanted. However, if she didn't accept, she wouldn't have any scenes. After a day of work, Wen Qiao went back to rest tiredly. When the elevator door opened, the person inside made Wen Qiao stunned. Wen Qiao, long time no see. Zhang Baiyu came out of the elevator, smiling elegantly. Wen Qiao naturally didn't have a good impression of this scumbag she met in her previous life. She could only blame herself for not seeing through people in her previous life. She was blind to fall in love with him. Wen Qiao's face was cold. Mr. Zhang, excuse me. Wen Qiao. Zhang Baiyu blocked Wen Qiao. The expression on his face suddenly became affectionate. You don't have to be so distant, right? We've acted together before, so we can be considered friends. Wen Qiao wanted to go around Zhang Baiyu, but Zhang Baiyu's tall body blocked the elevator. Wen Qiao, I want to treat you to a meal. Chapter 5:11. Wen Qiao, shouldn't you explain? Sumu Yuan slammed the newspaper in front of Wen Qiao. On the newspaper, Wen Qiao and Zhang Baiyu were hugging each other in an ambiguous posture. Wen Qiao frowned and explained, I just had a meal with him. You call this having a meal together? Sumu Yuan pointed at the newspaper. The anger in his eyes almost burned through Wen Qiao. It's okay if you don't believe me. Ha! Sumu Yuan sneered. Get out. Wen Qiao opened her mouth but didn't continue to explain. She straightened her back and strode away. Wen Qiao and Zhang Baiyu's scandal suddenly became a hot topic. Zhang Baiyu always had a lot of scandals, but Wen Qiao was different. Wen Qiao was related to Sumu Yuan. Wouldn't it attract people's attention if they suddenly had a scandal? In the following period, Jiang Baiyu and Wen Chao were involved in several scandals. Even if Wen Chao avoided Jiang Baiyu would always find a chance to be involved with Wen Chao. Because of Jiang Baiyu's interference, Wen Chao and Su Mu Yuan's relationship fell to the freezing point. Su Mu Yuan stopped all resources for Wen Chao. He even secretly banned Wen Chao. Wen Chao's scenes were either cut off halfway or when they were about to reach an agreement, the other party suddenly changed their mind. Wen Chao was furious and went to Su Mu Yuan angrily. "Miss Wen, you can't go in." When the secretary said this, Wen Chao had already opened the door of the office. The scene inside was unobstructed. A woman sat on Su Mu Yuan's lap, half of her breasts were exposed, rubbing against Su Mu Yuan's chest. Su Mu Yuan's hand was placed on the woman's waist. He wanted to push her away, but when he saw Wen Chao coming in, he hugged her instead. From Wen Chao's angle, it looked more like they were kissing. "I'm sorry, President Su." The secretary bowed her head and apologized. "Brother Su, can you accompany me to watch a movie tonight?" The woman took the opportunity to hug Su Mu Yuan's neck. "Okay." Su Mu Yuan responded. The woman immediately laughed. "Then I won't disturb Brother Su. I'll come back later." The woman was about to get up but was firmly held in Su Mu Yuan's arms. Wen's expression was a bit ugly. Su Mu Yuan raised his head, his cold eyes swept across Wen Chao and landed on the secretary. "You can't even do this well. Go to the HR department to get your salary and leave." The secretary's face paled. "Still not leaving?" The secretary bit her lips and glared at Wen Chao. "It's all because of this woman. It wasn't easy for her to get into the company, but she was fired before she could even work for a month. She didn't do anything wrong. I barged in on my own accord. Don't fire her." Wen Chao grabbed the secretary who was about to leave. Su Mu Yuan sneered, "Wen Chao, who do you think you are?" The secretary's face turned even paler. She broke free from Wen Chao's hand and ran outside. "Su Mu Yuan, you call me President Su in the company." Su Mu Yuan interrupted Wen Chao casually while playing with the woman's curly hair. The woman leaned on Su Mu Yuan's shoulder. Her probing eyes fell on Wen Chao. Wen Chao took a deep breath. "Boss Su, why did you let another artist replace me? Are you questioning me?" Su Mu Yuan's tone was colder than before. Wen Chao tried not to look at the woman in Su Mu Yuan's arms. "I just want to know the reason." "Reason?" Su Mu Yuan murmured and rubbed the woman's earlobe with his fingertips. "Because your acting skills are not good enough." "I wonder if Miss Wen is satisfied with this reason?" Not good enough acting skills. Her acting skills had improved by leaps and bounds recently, much better than those newbies. He actually said that her acting skills were not good enough. If Wen Chao still didn't know that Su Mu Yuan did it on purpose, she would have lived 2 lives in vain. Wen Chao and Su Mu Yuan didn't come up with an explanation. Instead, she was stuffed with dog food by Su Mu Yuan and the woman. Coming out of the office, Wen Chao's eyes were a little red. Since her rebirth, this was the first time she had the urge to cry. Wen Chao. Wen Chao's manager, Fong Liang, walked towards her. "Brother Fong." Wen Chao turned her back and wiped her eyes. "I'm sorry for causing you trouble." Fong Liang patted her shoulder. "I've got a movie for you, you can try it out." "Thank you, Brother Fong. Let's go." Fong Liang sighed. He had been running around a lot to get her a movie recently. Now, he finally got one. When Wen Chao's career was at a low point, Shishang and Gu Qi were still showing off their love every day. It was a piece of cake for her to make the headlines. The movies she got now were all about acting cool and acting cool. Acting as herself, it was a piece of cake. "Sister Lan, why are you playing games again? How much did the game company pay you?" Assistant Xiao Bao looked at the gaming addict movie queen with a headache. "Can you please pay attention to your image? Look at the busy people around. You're the only one squatting here with nothing to do, playing games like a village girl." Shishang finished the last boss and shook his hot mobile phone. "I haven't started shooting yet." Why are you rushing me? You're putting on makeup, Sister Lan. Xiao Bao wanted to cry. Look at the other actors, their makeup is done, but you haven't even changed your clothes. Shi Shang got up slowly and walked to the makeup room with his mobile phone. When the makeup artist was doing her makeup, her eyes never left her mobile phone. The makeup artist secretly took a picture with her mobile phone and captioned it, "The Gaming Addict Prince Charming." This Weibo post was quickly discovered by Prince Charming's fans and quickly became a hot topic. Netizen A. Prince Charming is playing games again. May I know which server he's on? Netizen B. I saw Prince Charming play last time and logged in as well. Unfortunately, I'm not good at it. I don't expect to level up and fight monsters anymore. I only hope to meet Prince Charming by chance. Netizen C. According to the analysis of the photo, Prince Charming's ID should be "Send You to Heaven," but I don't know which server. Netizen D. It should be Shongshan Shui. I know the person next to her. After the analysis of the powerful netizens, Shongshan Shui's server suddenly flooded with players, causing the map to be stuck and the progress bar to be stuck. Some even went offline. The customer service was instantly besieged by players. Shi Shang didn't turn off the friend requests, so when she finished shooting and logged into the game, she was dumbfounded when she saw 99+ friend requests. She was just shooting a movie. Why did so many people add her? Looking at the world chat, Shi Shang instantly understood. Her fans actually came to the game. It would be unreasonable if the game company didn't give her an endorsement fee. Shi Shang didn't expect that the game company would really come to her the next day and ask her to sign a contract for the endorsement of a new profession and a promotional video. Shi Shang didn't accept the endorsement of a new profession, only the advertisement. The planner heard from somewhere that Shi Shang used to play games in the production team and immediately took over the story. It became an inspirational drama about an internet-addicted girl bravely entering the entertainment industry. The experts were among the people. Little fairy. Daughter, if you continue to be so addicted to games, you'll be sent to electrotherapy. Shi Shang. Where's I's sword? Little fairy. Strike a balance between work and rest. You'll be more efficient. Chapter 512. Ever since Shi Shang shot that weird and down-to-earth game promotional video, Shi Shang had a new nickname. Internet Addict Prince Charming. Hashtag the Prince Charming who doesn't forget to play games even during filming. Hashtag the daily filming routine of Internet Addict Prince Charming. Hashtag due to Shi Shang's bright man effect, the game company's originally lackluster games suddenly became popular. December. The anticipated end of the year had finally arrived. As Shi Shang and Gu Qi had not announced their wedding date, fans spontaneously spread the news on the internet about which day was suitable for the wedding. There was a long list. Shi Shang and Gu Qi were getting married. The Gu family and Lan Qing naturally had to start preparing. Lan Qing was actually very unwilling to let his baby marry Gu Qi. He had painstakingly raised his baby to be fair and plump, but before he could appreciate her enough, she was already taken by a pig. Although this pig was a golden pig. But he was still very unhappy. Therefore, Lan Qing deliberately made things difficult for Gu Qi. He wanted everything to be unique. Gu Qi was probably afraid that Lan Qing would not let Shi Shang marry him, so he seriously completed the task given by his brother-in-law. From the wedding site selection to the wedding arrangements, wedding dress and car, Gu Qi and Lin Zhe Nan completed everything by themselves. The guests were naturally handled by the Gu family and Lan Qing. The Lan family did not have any relatives. Lan Qing only invited business partners. Most of the guests were from the Gu family. Before that, there were also wedding photos. Miss Shi Shang, stand on the rock. Mr. Gu, stand below. Miss Lan will jump down later. Can Mr. Gu catch her? The photographer directed Shi Shang in the wedding dress to stand on the rock, then turned to ask Gu Qi. Gu Qi nodded slightly. Okay, get ready. The photographer said to himself, it's okay even if she falls. Shi Shang was speechless. You're not the one who falls. The rock was not high. What the photographer wanted was probably the natural elegance of the wedding dress when Shi Shang jumped down. Gu Qi raised his head slightly and looked at the woman standing against the light. His gray eyes were slowly dyed with bright colors. She was the girl he wanted. 3, 2, 1, jump. Shi Shang jumped lightly, the tool fluttered in the sea breeze. Gu Qi opened his arms slightly and caught her easily. The gauze fell from the sky and covered their heads, blurring their figures. In the distance, white waves surged into the sky. Seagulls circled in the sky. Where the water met the sky, multicolored light shone for 10,000 zhang. The photographer crouched on the ground and quickly pressed the shutter. All right. The photographer got up from the ground. Miss Lan and Mr. Gu, let's change places. Gu Qi put the Shi Shang down and slowly lifted the veil covering their heads. The cameraman's gaze paused, and he grabbed the camera to take a few more shots. These two people were simply the favorite of photographers. Any casual movement would create a perfect piece of work. By the time the wedding photo shoot was over, Shi Shang was completely exhausted. It was even more tiring than filming. When they got home, Shi Shang rushed straight to the bedroom. Seeing that she went to bed after taking a shower, Gu Qi also went to take a shower quietly. Then, he climbed onto the bed and hugged the Shi Shang. We're getting married. Yes. Compared to taking wedding photos, the wedding day was even more tiring. During the whole process, Shi Shang had to change into no less than 5 sets of dresses. During the period, she had to deal with various people. If it weren't for Lan Qing and Gu Hao, Gu Qi and Shi Shang probably wouldn't be able to go back at night. Gu Qi was unwilling to move, so the new house was still Gu Qi's original apartment. The Gu family sent people to redecorate it, making it look brand new and joyful. Shi Shang took off her high heels and stepped on the cold ground barefoot. She felt comfortable. It's cold. Gu Qi walked to Shi Shang and carried her. Shi Shang hugged his neck and leaned forward to ask for a kiss. Gu Qi paused, his gaze was evasive. Are you hungry? He put Shi Shang on the sofa. Yes. Shi Shang nodded, her calm eyes seemed to be rippling. Gu Qi lowered his head. I'll get you something to eat, wait for me. Shi Shang grabbed Gu Qi's hand, but I want to. She knelt on the sofa, her other hand slowly climbed onto Gu Qi's chest. Gu Qi's heartbeat was a little fast, his ears were hot. Shi Shang held Gu Qi's shoulders with both hands, jumped from the sofa to him, and wrapped her legs around his waist. I want you. Shen Shang. We're married. Gu Qi's breath was in a mess. He first kissed Shi Shang carefully, then slowly went deeper. Their breaths intertwined, filling the room with love. Gu Qi hugged Shi Shang, sitting on the bay window covered with a thick velvet blanket. It's snowing. Shi Shang stretched out her hand and placed it on the cold glass. It was snowing outside, fluttering like goose feathers. Gu Qi hugged Shi Shang even tighter. He was silent for a while, his voice was still hoarse from the ebb of passion. The second winter. She stayed with him for the second winter. Gu Qi bit her neck lightly. I'll stay with you for the rest of your life, every spring and summer, every autumn and winter. Shi Shang shrunk her neck. Why does this guy like to bite me so much? Shi Shang turned over and sat on Gu Qi's body. I can't sleep, let's do it again? Gu Qi stared at her for a few seconds, then suddenly carried her up and stuffed her into the quilt. Sleep. Shi Shang was speechless. What happened to 7 times a night? Gu Qi. Mr. Gu. Mr. Gu. Gu Qi held down Shi Shang's hands that were messing around on his body. Tomorrow. It was her first time, he didn't want to hurt her. Shi Shang was really tired. She just wanted to tease Gu Qi, but Gu Qi couldn't. She curled up in his arms and fell asleep in a short while. Gu Qi was energetic. He stared at Shi Shang until dawn before he fell asleep. Shi Shang didn't win the Oscars, but Shi Shang did open the door to international stardom. International blockbusters not only required acting skills, but also action scenes. Shi Shang was a violent person. She was very suitable to be in international blockbusters. Although she didn't play the leading role in her first movie, she received a lot of good reviews abroad. She personally took part in all the action scenes. The petite girl had a strong explosive force. It was very impressive. However, Shi Shang wasn't very popular. She even dared to steal the director's lines. In the crew, many people were scolded by her. She didn't care if you were a big shot or a local tycoon. If you provoked her, she would immediately explode. Most importantly, she spoke according to the person. Girls who looked cute, had a soft personality, and spoke nicely would often be taken care of in front of her. Girls who looked more flirtatious and were considered as stunners in the eyes of men would often not be treated well by her. Of course, nothing would happen if you didn't provoke her. Most of the time, she was playing games. Even a group of cute girls in the crew played with her. Therefore, the crew's daily routine was basically like this. Led by a good-looking girl, a few girls surrounded her and squatted on the set. Each of them had a mobile phone or tablet, and the background music of the game was comparable to noise. #hashtag today, please. Grape-flavored tickets #hashtag happy chopping hand festival #hashtag the book review section will pick a lucky baby to send a big red packet #hashtag 2016. 11. 10 winner, Sister Tangerine, #. Chapter 513. When Shi Shang was abroad, when Qiao was not having a good time. Zhang Baiyu had been pestering her and spreading rumors with her in various ways. Moreover, Zhang Baiyu was pursuing her openly. Zhang Baiyu's die-hard fans naturally tried to defame her. There were also some extreme fans who sent her dead rats and razor blades. Let's meet up. One Qiao called Zhang Baiyu. She wanted to settle things with him today. Okay, where? Zhang Baiyu's voice was very gentle. When Qiao was about to tell him the address when she suddenly remembered that there were paparazzi outside. If she met Zhang Baiyu outside, she did not know what the paparazzi would say about her. After thinking for a while, when Qiao changed the address to her home. She had just changed the address and almost no one knew about it except her manager. Zhang Baiyu came quickly. Qiao, what's the matter? Zhang Baiyu acted like a Casanova. His words were full of concern. When Qiao took a deep breath and went straight to the point, Mr. Zhang, what do you want? Qiao, I just want to like you. I know that I have caused some trouble for you recently. I'm very sorry, I will go back and tell my fans. Zhang Baiyu was very sincere. When Qiao was deceived by him in her previous life. Of course, she would not believe Zhang Baiyu. I don't like you, it's impossible for us. Mr. Zhang, please don't harass me in the future, okay? Zhang Baiyu lowered his head, his eyes flashed a ray of light. When he looked up again, his face was full of affection. Qiao, even if you don't like me, you can't stop me from liking you. What do you want? When Qiao was a little agitated. Her life in her previous life was ruined because of this scumbag. Would her life be ruined because of this scumbag too? Zhang Baiyu was sincere. Qiao, it's my freedom to pursue whoever I want. You can't deprive me of my right to pursue you. Zhang Baiyu stood up. I'll go first, Qiao, I won't give up. When Qiao looked at Zhang Baiyu leaving and kicked the sofa angrily. Coincidentally, she kicked her toe and cried out in pain. When Qiao had not figured out how to deal with Zhang Baiyu, the scandal of Zhang Baiyu meeting up at her house was spread again. There were even rumors of them living together. No matter how when Qiao tried to explain, it would be seen as a pale excuse by others. At this time, a netizen stood up and said that Zhang Baiyu did not have any scandals with other female artists except for his scandal with Wen Qiao. For a moment, everyone was guessing whether the two of them were truly in love. Wen Qiao started to panic. Why is the current development so similar to my previous life? Even if she was reborn, she still couldn't escape from Zhang Baiyu, this scumbag? When Shi Shang returned to China, he heard the news that Su Mu Yuan was about to get engaged. Every male lead would definitely have a fiancé. Su Mu Yuan was no exception. On the day of the engagement, the male lead mysteriously disappeared, leaving his fiancée alone. Where did the male lead go? The male lead was stuck on the road. Of course, he wasn't going to attend the wedding. He was going to save the female lead. Before the wedding, Wen Qiao called Sumu Yuan for help. At this time, it was the rush hour, and almost all the roads were congested. Sumu Yuan pressed the horn anxiously, but there was no movement from the long line in front. He kept looking at the time and tapped his fingers on the steering wheel in frustration. In the end, he simply threw the car away. Be careful. Gu Qi stood under a low wall, opened his arms and frowned to remind the people above. Shi Sheng jumped down from the wall. How can I get hurt so easily? I don't want you to get hurt. Gu Qi patted the dust on her body and said in a serious tone. Shi Sheng raised his hands in surrender. Stop flirting with me. A few people jumped down from behind her, with colorful hair swaying. One of them went up to Shi Sheng to please him. Sister-in-law, it's done. They've already transferred the people. Shi Sheng nodded and took out some money from his pocket. Take this first, get the rest from Lin Zainan. Sister-in-law, it's our honor to work for you. Although they said so, they took the money quickly. Master Gu, sister-in-law, we'll leave first. Shi Sheng nodded. After they left, Gu Qi hugged Shi Sheng and said slowly, What do you want to do? Just tell Lin Zainan. I'm worried. The female lead has such a strong aura. If these small fries were to do it, they would probably mess it up. Sumu Yuan's engagement and Wen Qiao's kidnapping were in the plot. She just reminded the kidnappers that someone was coming and asked them to change their location quickly. Nothing else. Let's go home. Gu Qi touched Shi Sheng's head. He didn't ask anything about what she did. It seemed that even if she killed someone, he could get someone to deal with it. Carry me. Shi Sheng went behind Gu Qi and hugged his neck. Gu Qi squatted down slightly. Shi Sheng immediately climbed onto his back and rubbed his face on his neck. The two walked out of the alley slowly. Not long after they left, a figure rushed out from the other side. He supported himself on the wall beside him and took 2 breaths. He quickly looked around and chose a direction. Bumped into Prince Charming and Prince Charming Gu, forced to eat dog food again, although it's delicious. Role model couple out to torture single people again. Shouldn't your focus be on Prince Charming's return? Torturing dogs as soon as he came back. Prince Charming, you've changed. You don't love us anymore. The photo of Gu Qi carrying Shi Sheng was posted on the internet, so the fans on the internet swallowed a wave of PDA with a feeling of love and hate. However, Shi Sheng reposted a photo that was just released by the crew. Prince Charming has a new drama. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. When will it be released? May 20th. It's a good day. I have a date in City G. Boost the box office for Prince Charming. Prince Charming, I still love you and will stay by your side forever. Prince Charming, I still love you and will stay by your side forever. Shi Sheng threw his phone away and pounced on Gu Qi. He reached out and took off his clothes. Gu Qi put down the book in his hand. Aren't you tired after such a long flight today? Shi Sheng couldn't help but roll his eyes. He reached out and touched Gu Qi's crotch. Mr. Gu, your body is very honest. Gu Qi's ears turned red. His body trembled because of Shi Sheng's touch. Shen, don't. Don't what? Shi Sheng deliberately got close to Gu Qi and blew into his ear. Don't do this. Gu Qi's face was a little red. He wanted to move Shi Sheng's hand away. Shi Sheng pulled the blanket over him. Gu Qi wasn't as nervous as before, but his body was still tense. He moved a little uncomfortably. Shi Sheng rubbed him twice, then withdrew his hand and walked to the bathroom. I'm going to take a shower. Gu Qi was speechless. He looked at the blanket and sighed softly. Only care about the fire, not the fire. Chapter 5:14. Wen Qiao was no longer an unknown person that no one paid attention to. Once the video was released, it caused an uproar. Combined with the previous indecent photos of Wen Qiao and Sumu Yuan, Wen Qiao was scolded after the video was released. In the video, Wen Qiao did not look like she was forced, so it must be voluntary. How dare she take such a video and post it on the internet? Wasn't she asking for a scolding? The video was too explicit and was soon banned by various websites. Unfortunately, no matter how fast it was deleted, it could not be faster than the right-clicking of thousands of netizens. The video was still widely circulated in private. Compared to others, Wen Qiao's video was obviously more exciting. After all, she was pretty. Wen Qiao was found 3 days later. She was a little delirious and was sent to the hospital for treatment. She was found to have taken illegal drugs. Su Mu Yuan went to the hospital to visit Wen Qiao a few times. Wen Qiao's face was pale and she stayed alone in the isolation room. Su Mu Yuan always felt disgusted after watching Wen Qiao's video. Moreover, Wen Qiao's attitude was not good. Su Mu Yuan stopped visiting after a few times and only ordered his secretary to visit her regularly. The negative news about her was overwhelming. Wen Qiao did not even dare to look at her phone or TV. Xiao Qiao. Fong Liang came in from outside the ward with a thermos in his hand. The only person who stayed by her side now was probably Fong Liang, her manager. Brother Fong. Wen Qiao's eyes were wide open. She did not dare to blink. If she did, tears would fall out. The nurses who came to check on her were all looking at her with such a cry. Fong Liang patted Wen Qiao's shoulder. Fong Liang's 2 words seemed to have removed the last line of defense in Wen Qiao's heart. She first sobbed softly, then cried bitterly. She wanted to live a glorious life in this life and let those who bullied her pay the price. But why did things turn out like this? Fong Liang hugged Wen Qiao and comforted her. It will pass. Outside the ward, Su Mu Yuan looked coldly, followed by his secretary who did not even dare to breathe. After a minute, Su Mu Yuan suddenly turned around. His aura was so cold that it could be used as a freezer. After Wen Qiao finished crying, Fong Liang started to ask, "Xiao Qiao, do you remember what happened that day?" Wen Qiao's eyes were filled with tears. After a while, her voice was full of hatred. It was Zhang Baiyu. It's him. He ruined me in my previous life. It's still him in this life. Fong frowned. Xiao Qiao, are you sure? Wen Qiao nodded firmly. She had lived with Zhang Baiyu for so many years in her past life. She knew his habits and the way he spoke like the back of her hand. He had changed his voice and covered her eyes, but she knew that it was Zhang Baiyu. Are you really not going to call the police? This was already a crime, but she insisted on not calling the police. Wen Qiao's eyes were filled with hatred, and her face was slightly twisted. What you owe me, I will take it back personally. Fong Liang was frightened by Wen Qiao's appearance and found an excuse to leave. Wen Qiao knew that Su Mu Yuan sent someone to visit her, but she had never seen Su Mu Yuan. She called Su Mu Yuan at that time, but he didn't come to save her. At that time he should have been engaged. Thinking about it, how could he have come to save her? Wen Qiao was unconscious when she was transferred, so she didn't know that she was transferred. Naturally, she didn't know that Su Mu Yuan actually went to save her. Wen Qiao cooperated with the doctor's treatment. Since she was just addicted to drugs, it was not difficult for her to quit. But it was already 3 months later when she was discharged from the hospital. When she was in the hospital, she was almost completely isolated and did not receive any news from the outside world. As soon as it came out, a large amount of information rushed into his brain. Wen Qiao wanted revenge, so she didn't give up. She was still working hard to climb up. However, she didn't dare to use it now. The ones she dared to use were all vulgar films, either sex scenes or revealing a lot of her private parts. Wen Qiao didn't want to shoot these and refused. She didn't know who else she could look for. When she flipped through the phone book, she found Su Mu Yuan's number. She gritted her teeth and finally deleted the number. Looking back and forth, Wen Qiao only found Zhao Yun'an's number. But when she called, it was Zhao Yun'an's assistant who picked up. The assistant told her that Zhao Yun'an was filming abroad and couldn't pick up the phone. Wen Qiao sneered and hung up the phone. Wasn't he just unwilling to pick up the phone because he saw that she was down and out? She didn't hesitate to delete Zhao Yunan's number 2. However, Wen Chao didn't know that Zhao Yunan was really filming. His assistant told him that Wen Chao had called, so he immediately called Wen Chao back. Maybe Wen Chao had turned on the unknown phone's rejection function, so his call couldn't go through at all. Zhao Yunan couldn't leave for a while, so he could only ask his friends in the country to look for Wen Chao. Wen Chao didn't have much money with her. If she wanted to take revenge on Zhang Baiyu, she couldn't do it without money. But now that she couldn't get any roles, where could she get the money? Under all kinds of pressure, Wen Chao finally accepted a vulgar film. Next is the bed scene. Everyone get ready. After the director yelled, all the departments started to move immediately. Wen Chao was only wearing thin clothes, lying on the big bed with the male lead half kneeling on her. They were covered with a thin blanket, covering the important parts. The male lead secretly pinched Wen Chao's waist when those people weren't looking. Wen Chao's face changed and wanted to get up, but the director shouted to start. Kaka, Wen Chao, what's wrong with you? What's with your expression? You're a couple now, not enemies. Do it again. The male lead always took advantage of Wen Chao when the camera wasn't filming. Naturally, Wen Chao couldn't get into the mood and was constantly shouted cut by the director. When she finally got into the mood, Wen Chao suddenly felt the man's hand moving down. Wen Chao reached out to stop the man. Don't move, there are so many people here, you don't want to be seen by them, right? The man whispered in her ear. Wen Chao's eyes were red, she stared at the man fiercely, her body trembling slightly. Kaka, Wen Chao, what are you doing? Is he your enemy? Do you want to kill him with your eyes? Watch your eyes, everyone get ready, do it again. The man moved maliciously. Wen Chao's face changed slightly, she bit her lips to stop herself from making a sound, only endless hatred left in her eyes. When the stage supervisor shouted to start, the man's movements were no longer covered. The director only thought that Wen Chao got into the mood and didn't care much. Even if he knew, the director wouldn't interfere. It was unknown how many times the man had done this. When he changed his position, no one could tell. The thin blanket still covered the two of them tightly. Cherub, you're getting dirtier. Little fairy. No. I didn't write anything strange. 2333333 cherub. Does your daughter know you're so shameless? Sure Shang. I don't want to talk to a retard. Feng Xiai. My wife is right. Little fairy. Get out of here. Sure Shang. I'll get out. Feng Xiai. Go home and roll in the sheets. Feng Xiai. Okay, my wife. Chapter 5:15. After the bed scene ended, the staff who cleaned up the bed saw the marks on the bed. Their expression changed. But no one said anything. Many artists had suffered losses in such a scene. But since they all accepted such scenes, they wouldn't care. Wen Chao wanted to quit, but she had to pay the penalty for breaching the contract. She had no money to pay, so she had to do it. There was another boat scene, this time in the bathtub. The bathtub was filled with milk and flower petals. The camera couldn't capture the scene below. There were more positions available than on the bed. Once the scene ended, Wen Chao left the crew immediately. She walked aimlessly. The bustling scene on the street made her feel a chill in her heart. She thought God gave her a second chance to take revenge, but she didn't expect the ending to be like this. Hurry, it's starting. Wen Chao was bumped into a few times. A group of girls rushed in one direction. Wen Chao looked over and saw a square with a stage in it. Wen Chao followed the crowd and walked to the periphery of the stage. She saw the glamorous girl on the stage. Lan Shang's fan meeting. Lan Shang. The person she swore to surpass. Now she was standing on the international stage, an international superstar. She was the center of attention wherever she went. But what about her? She could only act in those vulgar films. Why did things turn out like this? She looked at the person on the stage and cried silently. But there was no regret in her tears, only unwillingness. His ears were constantly filled with noises from all around. Prince Charming, love is endless, forever. Prince Charming, I love you. Prince Charming is looking at me. Prince Charming is so gentle, he looks so handsome when he smiles. After the fan meeting ended, Shi Shang returned to the backstage dizzily. Gu Qi was waiting at the backstage and held her immediately. Shi Shang put her whole weight on Gu Qi. It's so good to have you. She didn't even have to walk. Gu Qi patted her back and flipped through slowly. I'm the luckiest to have you. The staff backstage watched the two of them showing off their affection and showing off their affection. They wanted to poke their eyes out. Can you spare a thought for us single dogs? The Dog Lover Association will talk to you. Shi Shang forced himself to wait for Chan Yuan to finish negotiating with the staff before leaving with Gu Qi. There were only 2 or 3 reporters. Even if they waited here, they would only be able to take a few photos of the couple and nothing else. Therefore, the smart reporters left as soon as the event ended. Only a few reporters who were bored or liked Shi Shang stayed. There were also some fans waiting outside. He's out. He's out. Quick, quick, quick. Don't let those fans get ahead of you. As long as there were fans around, reporters like them would not have a sense of existence. However, the number of fans was much larger than the number of reporters. They were still squeezed outside and could not enter at all. The reporters hugged each other and cried, "Is that Wen Qiao?" A sharp-eyed reporter saw Wen Qiao standing in the distance. "Let's go and have a look." Wen Qiao turned and ran when she saw someone coming. #former young starlet turned into leading actress of a third-level film. This piece of news successfully grabbed the headlines. She didn't know where the reporters had found out about her scenes. He even analyzed her journey to stardom since her debut. President Su. The secretary looked at Su Mu Yuan cautiously. Su Mu Yuan pursed his lips. His eyes seemed to be filled with ice shards, freezing people to the core. The secretary swallowed her saliva. We found out that Jiang Baiyu and Miss Li were behind this. Get the car ready. Yes. Su Mu Yuan looked at the dilapidated old building in front of him. His expression was unpredictable. The secretary in front was tense. She couldn't guess what her president was thinking. After a long time, Su Mu Yuan opened the car door and walked upstairs. Room 205 on the 3rd floor. The door was not closed tightly. There was a faint sound coming from inside. Su Mu Yuan's hand froze. He listened for a moment with a gloomy face. After confirming what the sound was, he smiled coldly. The secretary looked at Su Mu Yuan, who came down in less than 5 minutes. She was even more confused. What did the president do in such a short time? Go back to the company. Don't pay attention to her in the future. Su Mu Yuan ordered the secretary and closed his eyes. The secretary asked the driver to start the car immediately. She looked upstairs and shook her head slightly. 3 days later, someone found the bodies of Wen Qiao and Jiang Baiyu. There were traces of fighting at the scene. The specific cause of death needed further investigation. Su Mu Yuan was a little absent-minded when he heard the news. If he went in that day, would the ending be different? But it was only for a moment. They had too many things in the past. Shi Shang had lived for a long time in this world. He probably had nothing to do except showing off his love and occasionally acting in a pretentious show to attract a new wave of fans. The only thing that worried Shi Shang was Gu Qi's erratic sleep schedule. Stop looking. Shi Shang took the phone away from his hand. Go to sleep. Gu Qi hugged Shi Shang and rubbed against him. His lips slowly moved up from her neck to her lips. He gently bit a few times. Shen Shen. Shen Shen. Shi Shang was softened by his bite. Wait. That. Haha, it's not convenient today. Shi Shang was embarrassed. Gu Qi glanced at her lower body and felt wronged. He hugged Shi Shang and rubbed against her gently. Although it was not convenient, Shi Shang was still taken advantage of. Gu Qi was much bolder than before. But when Shi Shang teased him, he was still shy. Comfortable. Shi Shang laid in Gu Qi's arms and asked him with a smile. Gu Qi's face was a little red. The desire in his eyes was getting stronger. He whispered, "Shen Shen, can you hurry up?" "But my hands are tired." Shi Shang stopped and said naughtily. Gu Qi's breathing was a little heavy. He buried his face in Shi Shang's neck. Then forget it. Shi Shang chuckled. My Feng Xi should be like this. Cute and shy. Ding ling. The doorbell rang. Gu Qi hugged Shi Shang tightly. Don't open the door for them. Shi Shang felt funny and kissed his face. Stop it. Gu Qi turned over and wrapped himself in the quilt. Shi Shang went to the bathroom to tidy up before opening the door. Happy New Year, baby. Lon Qing held a big bouquet of flowers and squeezed in with a smile. A long line of Gu family members followed behind. Shi Shang, Gu Qi didn't like to go back to the Gu family's house, so the Gu family shifted the battlefield here. Every New Year, a big wave of zombies would come to disturb her, and Gu Qi Shi Shang sighed and let them in. Grandpa, Dad, Happy New Year. What about me? Lon Qing was dissatisfied. He was the first one to give his blessing to his baby. Brother, Happy New Year. Shi Shang hugged Lon Qing. Lon Qing then went to the kitchen to prepare the food. Shi Shang went to the bedroom to get Gu Qi out of bed and let him take a shower. Everyone in the family sat on the sofa. Those who didn't have a sofa sat on the floor. In winter, the living room was covered with blankets and there was heating, so it wasn't cold to sit on the floor. However, if outsiders were to find out that these people, who could shake the earth with just a word, were actually sitting on the ground, their jaws would probably drop in shock. Chapter 5:16. It was noisy outside. Gu Qi was dawdling in the bathroom for a long time. He stared at the person in the mirror and tried to smile. However, the smile was uglier than crying. Gu Qi pinched his face. His eyes were unfocused. He realized he was different from other children since he was young. Other children would cry, laugh and make noise, but he didn't. He didn't understand why they cried, nor did he understand why they laughed. The world he saw was cold and gloomy. Sometimes, he even had the thought of destroying them. They brought him to see many doctors, but every doctor said the same thing. It was useless to him. The first color he saw in his world was her. But it wasn't her. The Lon Shang in his eyes was different from the Lon Shang with him now. He still remembered the first time he met her in real life. She sat in the car with a sarcastic face, but her eyes were calm and emotionless. When he saw her car in the garage, he had a childish idea. He painted over her car. The second time they met, she suddenly came to his house. She asked him why he painted her car. Even Gu Qi himself didn't understand. He just thought of it and did it. He said a few words stiffly to evade her. Now he probably understood that he wanted her to pay attention to him. Gu Qi, are you giving birth inside? The bathroom door was knocked a few times. Gu Qi put down the towel in his hand and opened the door. She was wrapped in a furry shawl and looked at him impatiently. Gu Qi held her face and kissed her, biting her lips habitually. Stop kissing, get out. I won't go out if you don't kiss me, Gu Qi said suddenly. He was stunned after he said that, then looked at Shi Shang calmly. He liked it when she kissed him, and he liked it when they had intimate contact. He liked it even more when she called his name with blurred eyes. Why are you so troublesome? Shi Shang hooked her arms around his neck and gave him a rough peck on the cheek before dragging him out without giving him a chance to protest. Gu Qi was not satisfied. He didn't want to kiss his face. So when they were about to go out, Gu Qi pulled Shi Shang and pressed her against the door. His handsome face was infinitely enlarged in Shi Shang's eyes. By the time the two of them left, it was already more than 10 minutes later. The whole family looked at them ambiguously. Lon Qing, on the other hand, was trying to separate Gu Qi and his baby sister. Gu Qi looked at the lively living room and shifted his gaze to Shi Shang, who was talking to old Master Gu. At this moment, she looked very obedient. She had a faint smile on her face and her eyelashes were slightly lowered, blocking her eyes. No one could tell the true emotions in her eyes. But he knew. There was no emotion in her eyes. The only emotion he had ever seen was when she looked at him. It was very light, very shallow, and very gentle. Yet, it rippled into the depths of his heart, stirring the lake in his heart until it softened. He was different in her heart. "I'll be very satisfied." Shi Shang probably sensed Gu Qi's gaze and raised his head slightly. Their eyes met in the air. Shi Shang turned his head and said something to Old Master Gu. Old Master Gu laughed and scolded him, then waved his hand. He watched her walk towards him. What happened? Gu Qi moved to the side and hugged her waist. "I miss you." "I'm here, what do you miss me for?" Gu Qi paused. "I miss you every minute and every second." He wanted her to be by his side every moment. Even if they didn't do anything and just stayed in the same space. Shi Shang leaned close to him and whispered in his ear, "It's no use teasing me like this. It won't work today." Gu Qi's ears suddenly turned red. He didn't mean anything else. "Why is my wife always so dirty? I say, both of you are always together. It's so annoying. Let go of my baby." Lon Qing came from the side and pushed Gu Qi away. Gu Qi respected his brother-in-law. He only glanced at his brother-in-law's hand on Shi Shang's shoulder, then slowly looked away. "Baby, I'm telling you, don't spoil him. Look at how spoiled he is now." Lon Qing started his annual brainwashing. "I'm willing to spoil him. Baby, how can you be like this? You're always spoiled at home." Lon Qing expressed that his baby was meant to be spoiled. "Yeah, he spoils me too." Shi Shang nodded with a smile. Gu Qi never asked her to do housework, nor did he force her to do anything. Even if it was something like that, Gu Qi would bear with it and stop immediately when she asked him to. Lon Qing showed a "you're hopeless" expression. Shi Shang patted Lon Qing's shoulder. "Brother, you should find a wife." Lon Qing was speechless. "So what if I'm single?" "I'm single." The countdown to the gala started. 3, 2, 1. The New Year's bell rang. "Happy New Year. Gu Qi, Happy New Year." Shi Shang leaned in front of him and kissed him on the cheek. Gu Qi was thinking, if I didn't meet her, what would I be doing now? Alone in the cold house, he played a game with few people and looked at the fireworks outside the window. He was suddenly afraid to return to that kind of life. He liked the warmth she brought him. He could fall asleep at night now. But he didn't want to. He was afraid that she would be gone when he woke up in the morning. "Ah, Gu Qi, help me get my clothes." A voice from the bathroom interrupted Gu Qi's thoughts. When he came back to his senses, the party had already ended, leaving only a mess. He walked into the bedroom slowly and took Shi Shang's clothes. The steam in the bathroom blurred her body. Even though Gu Qi had seen it many times, he still couldn't help but feel his ears burning. He passed the clothes to Shi Shang. When Shi Shang took it, his fingertips slid across the back of his hand. Gu Qi retracted his hand as if he got an electric shock and quickly left the bathroom. He heard the person behind him chuckling. Gu Qi climbed onto the bed and stuffed himself under the blanket. The bedroom light went off with a pop sound. The room fell into darkness, with only the occasional fireworks outside the window. The bed sank a little. "Shen Shen." Gu Qi called softly. "Yes." Shi Shang responded. "Are we going to live like this in the future?" Every New Year's bell rang with her. Every fireworks display would be with her. "Yes." Gu Qi suddenly leaned over and kissed her carefully, as if he was treating a fragile treasure. She was the treasure in his heart, one of a kind. "I'm willing to overcome all obstacles for you and worship you as my king." Gu Qi *, the 16th plane has ended. Gu Qi, my true love. Reminder: the next plane is a transition plane. Please wear a lightning rod. Number 11. 11 lucky draw in the book review area. like a child. Orange the Fox. Please receive the prize in time. Hashtag this event is valid for a long time. Please participate. Who knows, it might be you. Hashtag. Chapter 517. Shi Shang returned to the system space and stood in the same place as usual. The system was a little suspicious. What was the host doing? Close all the backup channels. Master. The host actually contacted it at this time. The host of the system raised his voice. Hurry up. The system began to operate and closed all the backup channels. Master. However, no one responded. All the channels were closed, and the host could not contact it. The system was a little confused. What was the host doing just now? Shi Shang looked at the screen with some pity. The person behind you is quite smart. Thank you for the compliment. Of course, its host was smart. The system felt that it was difficult to operate. The host was not here. It was so confused. It was better to check the information. Name, Shi Shang. Moral points, 200,000, broke through the lower limit. Congratulations to the host for receiving a big gift package. Health points, 25 contribution points, 31,000 mission level. B mission score, 78 hidden mission, incomplete hidden mission reward, none item list, Queen's Crown, Ghost King's Heart, Dark Knight. What's the big gift package? Breaking through the lower limit gave her a big gift package? What happened to the obliteration? The system lied to her again. No, she didn't do anything in this world. Why did her moral points get deducted so much? Do you know how many couples broke up because of you? Not only was she a scumbag, but she was also a scumbag to a group of girls. What does this have to do with me? Who told you to spread dog food? Shi Shang. Well, it was her fault again. A gift package appeared on the screen with its own colorful light. Shi Shang clicked on the screen and the gift package opened automatically. There were only 2 lines of words on it. Luck points decreased by 30%, plot delayed by 50%. Shi Shang. What kind of gift package was this? The system, please explain. Host, your moral points are already so low. What kind of gift package do you want? The system snorted coldly. Congratulations to the host for activating escape mode. Please don't court death. Does the host need some buffer time? What was escape mode? Host's moral points are too low. No comment. Where was I's sword? Start of transmission. Is she dying? Don't let your guard down. Demons are the most cunning. Several young men in uniform Daoist robes surrounded a figure who was crawling on the ground. It was a girl. His clothes were dyed red with blood, and it was impossible to tell what color they were. There were many people lying around her, all of them lifeless. Shi Shang felt as if her body was being pulled apart by someone. There was a splitting pain. The air around her was like a 1,000-pound rock, pressing down on her. Quick now. The sound of something breaking through the air came from the front. Shi Shang vaguely saw several figures rushing towards her. The sharp murderous aura made her unconsciously draw her sword. Clang! The iron sword blocked the opponent's weapon, causing sparks to fly in all directions. It was extremely ear-piercing. You can still resist? Hurry up and help! The other party roared at the other party. Shi Shang exerted force in her hand, and the spiritual power in her body poured into the iron sword. The weapon that blocked her iron sword was immediately shattered. The iron sword cut into the opponent's shoulder, directly cutting off one of his arms. Shi Shang stood up from the ground shakily, and before the man could react, she stabbed the sword into his chest. The other party's eyes widened, and the emotions in his eyes rolled very quickly. In a flash, he began to slacken, and his body slowly fell down. Shi Shang used the iron sword to support herself on the ground, stabilizing her body. The others were shocked by this change and did not continue to rush forward. The spiritual power in this world was so abundant, so it should be a cultivation world or a fantasy world. Shi Shang's brain turned quickly, and her eyes swept around. At this time, there were still 3 people around her, and they were the same type as the person lying on the ground. This was a small forest, probably in autumn. The ground was covered with fallen leaves, and there was a rotten smell. Her body seemed to have reached its limit. She used a little spiritual power just now, and her body was already exhausted. Was this the escape mode mentioned by the system? Damn it! Senior, don't panic. She was injured just now, and now she's just holding on. Let's wait. Wait my ass. The iron sword suddenly enlarged, and Shi Shang sat on the iron sword. Under the 3 people's surprised gazes, she rose into the air. Before they could chase after her, a small purple ball fell from the sky, right in the middle of them. Bang! The explosion created a big hole in the forest, and there was lightning flashing in it. There were no bones left. Shi Shang lay on the iron sword, gasping for breath, and did not even want to move a finger. Shi Shang did not know how she fainted. When she woke up, it was already dark outside, and she was placed on a patch of grass. Shi Shang raised her hand to touch her cheek. Wait. What the hell are these white claws? Shi Shang raised the claws to look. They were furry and chubby, and the palms were pink. They were very cute. But why were they on her body? Why did she have claws on her body? Where was Ai's sword? Buzz. The sound of the iron sword vibrating came from behind Shi Shang. Shi Shang turned around and saw the reflection of the iron sword. What the hell was that? Shi Shang raised her hand. The shadow in the iron sword also raised her hand. She raised her foot again. The shadow also raised her foot. Shi Shang. No, it must be her illusion. Illusion. Shi Shang closed her eyes, took 3 deep breaths, and opened them again. The shadow in the iron sword was still a snow-white ball. Its fluffy tail could almost cover its entire body, and its eyes were green like gems. Fox. I've turned into a fox. A beast? F***CK. How can I turn back? I was still a human before. I want to turn back into a human. Shi Shang, who had never been a beast, did not know how to turn back into a human. She raised her furry claws and scratched left and right. Mommy, mommy. Mommy's coaxing spell was repeated several times, but to no avail. So, how can I turn back into a human? Begging for a tutorial, begging for a strategy. Shi Shang struggled for a long time, but found that there was no spiritual energy in her body. She thought for a moment. Maybe she needed spiritual energy? So she had to absorb spiritual energy first. Otherwise, she would be slaughtered if someone came to kill her. But, how can a beast absorb spiritual energy? Shi Shang felt that she should accept the plot first. Yes, that was the right way to start the story. She was so scared by her own transformation that she forgot the normal process. Just kill anyone who comes. Shi Shang instructed the iron sword. Then, he added, kill anyone who is alive. Iron sword, Shi Shang. Why did I turn into a beast? Little fairy, don't you think foxes are cute? And they're white. They're cute pets. Shi Shang. No, how can I be a beast? Little fairy, you are a beast. Shi Shang. I'm just a scumbag, not a beast. Thank you. Little fairy. Tell me what's different. Shi Shang. It's different. Little fairy. I'm speechless. Chapter 518. The original owner was called Yue. She was the apple of the Fox Clan leader's eye and the most popular fox demon in the Fox Clan. Being flattered by everyone, Yue was spoiled and willful. She looked down on the men of the Fox Clan and wanted to marry a powerful male demon. Gradually, the men of the Fox Clan stopped chasing after her. Yue felt that these fox demons were not good enough for her, so she did not care. Until Yue met the male protagonist. The male protagonist, Xian Feng, was a sealed devil. He was full of murderous intent and was accidentally released by the female protagonist. The female protagonist was also a fox demon, but she could not transform into a human form. She was a little fox demon that was not popular in the clan. However, since she met Xian Feng, she started the main plot. Not only did she transform into a human form, but she also became the most beautiful fox demon in the clan. For a time, she became the most popular target in the Fox clan. However, the male protagonist was with the female protagonist, so others naturally did not have a chance. Yue liked the male protagonist, so she was not willing to let them be together. Therefore, she tried to break them up and take the male protagonist for herself. The male protagonist was a devil before he was sealed. The number of people and demons he killed was probably more than the number of meals Yue had eaten. The male protagonist was not happy when she kept pestering him. He seriously injured Yue several times. Yue was a silly girl. The male protagonist treated her so badly, but she loved him more and more. She was simply a masochist. When the male protagonist was besieged, she went to save him and fought her way out. However, the male protagonist thought that it was the female protagonist who saved him. He did not know that Yue was seriously injured at that time and was being chased. Yue was injured by an immortal weapon and could not recover in a short time. When she was besieged, she suddenly remembered a legend she once heard. Fox demons could increase their cultivation by eating human hearts. In order to survive, Yue began to eat human hearts. One human heart was not enough, so Yue killed many people. As a result, she was wanted by a decent sect. When she was being chased, she met the male protagonist and the female protagonist. However, the two of them joined forces with the people who chased her and forced her into a dead end. In the end, Yue died under the sword of a cultivator. After she died, her fur, inner elixir and demon bone were all taken away. In the end, the male protagonist knew that it was Yue who saved him, but he still did not give her any response. Yue hated the male protagonist's heartlessness. She saved him, but he joined forces with those people to kill her. No one would be able to figure this out. Gone. What about the plot? Why are there only memories? The host's grade is too low. The plot cannot be transmitted. What the hell? How could you say something like being unable to teleport? The system cleverly played dead. No matter how much Shi Shang asked its master, the system just pretended to be dead. Although the plot didn't have much effect on Shi Shang always felt that the system was embezzling his things, which made him very unhappy. Shi Shang tried to organize the memories in his mind. The current timeline should be when Yue saved the male protagonist and was being hunted down. She had not reached the stage of eating people's hearts. Fortunately, Shi Shang breathed a sigh of relief. Shi Shang opened his eyes, just in time to see the iron sword cutting down an unknown shadow in the air. There were already several corpses on the ground. There were rabbits, birds. As long as they were alive, they could not escape the fate of being cut down. Shi Shang raised his furry paws in a daze. She was seriously injured now. It was basically impossible for her to transform into a human being. Shi Shang rummaged in the space for a while and found a few bottles of elixirs. He looked around with his paws for a while and finally made up his mind. Eat. These pills were all targeted at humans. Would it have any effect on a beast like her? Would there be any side effects after she ate them? Shi Shang really had no idea. But he couldn't bear to use such a weak body. After eating the elixirs, he absorbed the aura of the air according to the way of the monster cultivators and stimulated the elixir in his body to exert its effect. When the elixir took effect, Shi Shang felt like his body was being cut with a knife. Sure enough, the elixirs for humans were different from those for beasts. Since he had already eaten it, he had to endure it. Shi Shang gritted his teeth and endured. The elixir's effect was completely stimulated. He didn't know how long the pain lasted. There was a warm current in his abdomen that slowly flowed to his limbs, relieving the pain and repairing the broken veins. After all, the elixirs for humans were different. It took a long time for him to recover. Shi Shang sat there for 3 days. 3 days later, the bodies of all kinds of animals were piled up around him. The ones that had been cut down first had already begun to rot and emit an unpleasant smell. All the monsters in this place knew that there was a crazy sword here that would cut down any living thing it saw. Sher Shang shook his tail. The little fox shook his body and returned to his human form. Sher Shang touched his arms and felt up and down with concern. He only heaved a sigh of relief when he made sure that there were no signs of beasts. But before he could relax, several figures flew over from the sky. They stepped on flying swords and landed in front of Sher Shang. They acted exactly like the people from a few days ago. "Monster, how dare you kill my fellow disciple?" One of them pointed his sword at Sher Shang. "Don't even think about escaping today." Sher Shang calmly glanced at them and sneered. "You humans are allowed to kill monsters? Monsters are not allowed to resist? You are a monster. It is only right for us to kill you," the other party said righteously. "Then isn't it also right for me to resist?" "I'll kill you. If you have the guts, just stand there and don't resist." King retard. Humans killing monsters was to get rid of evil for the people. It was only right and proper. If monsters resisted, the heavens would not tolerate it. It was an unpardonable evil. Are you King unparalleled in the world? Or are you the illegitimate child of the heavenly Tao? Don't talk nonsense with her. Let's catch her before she recovers and avenge our fellow disciples. Senior brother is right. Let's attack together. If you can't outtalk I, then let's fight. Sher Shang waved his hand. The iron sword flew over from afar and landed in his hand. Although he hadn't fully recovered, he had no problem killing these people. Those with a bit of eyesight immediately noticed that the iron sword was different. Its aura was too strong. Kill. The sword flashed. The wailing sound startled the birds in the distant forest. The sound didn't last long. Sher Shang pulled out the iron sword from the man's chest. The corner of his mouth slowly curled into a faint smile. "Your skills are not as good as a monster's. Remember not to be a human when you reincarnate." "You." The man twitched. He only had time to utter one syllable before he fell straight to the ground. Sher Shang circled around the corpses. Finally, he stopped in front of a body that was crawling on the ground. The man who was playing dead felt his heart in his throat. He held his breath and didn't dare to breathe. Did she discover him? Was it too late for him to resist? All kinds of thoughts flashed through his mind. Time passed by. She just stood by his side. Just as he couldn't hold it in any longer, the sound of her footsteps gradually faded away. Just as he was about to raise his head, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. His body twitched. In an instant, he lost all signs of life. The iron sword automatically flew out of his body. It shook off the blood on the sword in disgust and chased after the figure in front of him. Chapter 519. On the tree-lined path, a young girl in a black dress walked leisurely with her arms crossed. Her hair was tied up casually and she looked clean and neat. The corners of her mouth were slightly upturned and she looked lazy. She looked handsome and at ease. A few people followed behind her and they pointed at her from time to time. "Is that her? She doesn't look like her. Should we catch her first? Are you kidding? She killed so many people. How can we catch her with just the few of us? I think we should go back and call for help." "That makes sense. You guys follow her. I'll go back and call for help." One of them left. Just as the rest of them were about to continue following her, the black figure who was walking not far away from them suddenly disappeared. They immediately rushed out and looked around. However, they didn't even see a ghost. They looked at each other. She disappeared in the blink of an eye under the surveillance of so many of them. "Hey!" A clear voice sounded from the side. Everyone looked up at the big tree next to them. The branches and leaves were thick and they couldn't see anything. They carefully approached the big tree and looked up. The young girl in the black dress was sitting on the tree trunk, swinging her legs slightly. The hem of her dress was embroidered with red patterns. As she swayed, it reflected the light faintly. "Are you tired of living?" Sher Shang leaned against the tree trunk and looked down at the people below. His tone was arrogant and confident. "Everyone, run." They tacitly turned around and flew into the sky on their swords. Sher Shang. They were too spineless. They didn't even say a word. Sher Shang jumped down from the tree and was about to leave. However, the person who left just now rushed down from the sky with a large group of people behind her. They rushed over aggressively. Sher Shang. Damn, they went to call for help. Are they bullying me because I don't have anyone? The large group of people surrounded Sher Shang. A few people fell behind. Judging from their clothes, they seemed to be of a higher status than these people. Uncle Wu Chen. When those people landed, the others bowed their heads and greeted them respectfully. Sher Shang sized up the leader a few times. He was wearing an elegant green robe, his hair was tied up with a jade crown, and a jade pendant hung from his waist. Below the jade pendant hung 3 bamboo leaf-shaped tassels. His eyes lingered on Sher Shang for a moment with a hint of ridicule on his face. "Is this the fox demon who killed many people of the Yu Yong sect?" "Martial Uncle Wu Chen, it's her." The person who followed Sher Shang before immediately stood up to testify. "Then capture him." Wu Chen waved his hand casually. It was as if catching Sher Shang was just a piece of cake for him. Sher Shang narrowed her eyes, and the iron sword suddenly appeared in her hand. A fierce aura swept out, and the people around her took a step back. They all looked curiously and doubtfully at the iron sword in Sher Shang's hand. What kind of sword was that? His aura was actually so overbearing. Martial Uncle Wu Chen. She's very powerful. The group of people didn't dare to step forward casually. This fox demon had killed so many people of the Yu Yong sect. A little fox demon has scared you like this. You've lost the face of the Wan Shen sect. Wu Chen's tone didn't fluctuate, but the strong disdain in it couldn't be ignored. The group of people bowed their heads in shame. Wu Chen turned to Sher Shang. "Little fox demon, if you go back with me obediently, I won't fight with you. What do you think?" Sher Shang shook the iron sword and sneered arrogantly. "Do you think you're invincible? Why don't you fight with me?" "Little fox demon. Your whole family are little fox demons." Wu Chen was slightly surprised, and there seemed to be a smile in his eyes. "Little fox demon, you're very bold." "I can go to heaven and earth when I'm bold enough." Sher Shang moved his body slightly and rushed toward Wu Chen. The iron sword passed through the air, causing the air to tremble. Wu Chen reacted quickly. When the iron sword was in front of him, he dodged to the side. "Little fox demon, how can you fight with me just like that? Do I have to eat with you before I fight?" Sher Shang waved the iron sword and slashed at him. "That's also possible." Wu Chen's feet didn't touch the ground, and he avoided Sher Shang's iron sword like a ghost. "Since you're so good-looking, I can take you as a maid. What do you think, little fox demon?" "Little fox demon. Damn you, you little fox demon who called me your grandpa." Sher Shang said fiercely, "Look at you, you're so ugly. I'll send you to hell, so that you don't hurt my eyes." "Am I ugly?" Wu Chen touched his face in surprise. "In the Wan Shen sect, I'm the first on the handsome man list." "Oh, then your Wan Shen sect is really blind." Sher Shang sneered, and he dodged to the left side of Wu Chen quickly. The iron sword aimed at Wu Chen's neck. Wu Chen didn't seem to notice, but when the iron sword was in front of him, he jumped up and the iron sword swept under his feet. He tiptoed and stepped on Sher Shang's sword accurately. "Little fox demon, I'll be angry if you do this." "I'll be angry too." Sher Shang tilted the iron sword, and the blade went up. A majestic spiritual power came out from the iron sword. Wu Chen's face changed slightly, and he pushed his palm out fiercely, colliding with the spiritual power from the iron sword. The invisible airflow spread out like sea waves, and the people around were blown away by the sudden airflow. Wu Chen's body was pressed back for a long distance. The blood in his body surged up, and he resisted vomiting blood. The power just now, When he received that blow, the meridians in his body actually showed signs of shattering. Shi Shang looked at the iron sword, and he was stunned. Obviously, he didn't know that his sword was so powerful. This man's strength was not low. He didn't use much spiritual power just now, but the power of the iron sword increased several times. My sword is so powerful. Iron sword. Anyway, I'm an upgraded version of the iron sword, okay? Well done. Shi Shang smiled and touched the iron sword. Pretentious weapon 2.0. Martial uncle. Martial uncle, are you okay? The disciples of Wan Shen's sect who were blown away got up and rushed to Wu Chen's side. Wu Chen suppressed the blood in his throat, and his face was much more dignified than before. Set up the formation. Hearing this, the disciples of Wan Shen's sect immediately spread out, and surrounded Shi Shang with 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. However, before they started the formation, the person in the middle disappeared again. Idiot! Will I wait for you to set up the formation? Wu Chen looked up at the girl sitting on the iron sword in the air, and there was a strange emotion in his eyes. Just when he was in a daze, a purple light fell from the air. A sense of crisis rose from Wu Chen's heart. Back off. Everyone rushed back at the same time. Bang! The explosion behind them made their hair stand up, and the frightening power chased from behind. Cold sweat covered their backs in an instant. Everyone used all their strength to fly into the distance. Asterisk la 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 la. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.